Hi.
Salty C, we see you.
Oh, Salty C. Look, Salty C's green.
Yes, she is. Look at
Yes,
that green.
she is. Look at Salty C.
Oh, that's exciting.
Okay, so if you guys haven't seen yet, can't stay long. We wanted to thank you for being there earlier, Raina. You know what? No problem. I support you and Zach 100,000 bazillion million %. So I will be there anytime I absolutely can. And so you don't worry about staying long. I know it's a heck of a day for you, but you've been in my thoughts all day. So, okay. So Salty sees green, but the little picture on the right I don't see that on StreamYard. Do you just not see it on StreamYard?
I could see her.
But I mean, it's just that little green one. It's not like the little puppy.
Oh no, you're right.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I thought that was how that worked. I think that may be how it was before. Like each tier got their own badge.
Right.
But now
it's how long they've been there. So like all the new members get one.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not set up like that?
It's not. So everybody I think starts with what is it right now? It's the puppy and the badge thing. Yeah. It's just really little.
Hi, Mel Mac. Hi, Nadie. Hi, Rosie, Jeanette and Queen, Alicia. Let me see who else. Maria, Nadie. Let's see who else is in here.
Her beautiful.
Hi, Audrey. Audrey B. CDT is gonna be in and out. In and out. Hi, Lori, Bina. I think I caught it. Here. Yeah, she was in the chat too. So hi, Christine. I already said hi to you. Okay, so but can you guys see the puppy picture like on YouTube? Because hold on, I'm gonna look at my phone.
We need to know if you got
it's
your
so
little
tiny.
dog.
It's just like a little emoji thing.
Well, I know, but I don't want it to come up with a little green circle. That's like the generic emoji, you know?
She wants her puppy.
I want my puppy.
That's her puppy.
You did such a cute job on the puppy. I want the puppy, but now I can't even tell because I can't go back that far. Hold on, baby. That is it you? That's awesome.
Hi, Nancy.
I have no idea. Why do you have a rocket launcher?
Hey, Rosie.
Go get Daddy then.
Oh, thank you, Maria.
Maria. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so on here I do. Okay, so on YouTube she has a puppy.
Yeah, it's next to her name.
There's a puppy, but on StreamYard there's no puppy.
Oh yeah, there's the puppy.
Thank you for being a partner in crime. Yes. That is our
partners.
Thank you, Salty.
One. Hey, Lou.
Okay. Yep, Salty. Yep, there's your puppy. I see it. Okay, so there are puppies there. Hi, Jen Lou.
Jen Lou, where are you?
And I think there's like emojis. Like I think I did the emojis for like the members. I can't do it because I'm not a member.
Oh, geez, Christine.
I'll fix this later.
Well, then, that's a great question. So, like, I have to be a member of my channel.
Yeah, I can. But like Maria could go and I think she could use any of the emojis of our faces, and I think the puppy's there too. And then I forget what the other one is.
Actually, I love the puppy. The puppy is so freaking cute. The infamous Jen Lou. Okay, I love the puppy. Like I want to watch the chat from my phone now so I can see the puppies.
Okay, so if everybody hasn't seen, we now have a Facebook page, which is different than the group. And
do we have the link for that? Do the mods have the link for that?
Well, I didn't give it to them ahead of time, but I'm sure they can find it. But if you guys would follow our page on Facebook, if you're part of the group, that'd be awesome. So we could get bigger and do more things.
Hi, Steppa. The puppy is so super cute.
And we finished loading all the previous lives. I finished loading all the previous lives, so all the podcast episodes are all up to date as of now. So if you guys
can listen to us on your favorite podcasts, on your favorite podcast streamer. What do you call that? Podcaster? What is it?
Your favorite
podcast streaming service?
Your favorite streaming service.
I did. Your favorite podcast streaming service. There you go. Hi, Curious Cat. Okay. I know I'm like fascinated with the puppies now. Are you taking this one? Oh, I thought you were trying to get her. Oh, well, I need that back for my phone anyway. Okay. I don't even know what were we on here to talk about? Puppies? Because that's like what we've done now.
I've missed you guys being live with you guys. I've been gone for
I know. It's finally the trio is back. The trio is
we
back.
have like no more
our person.
No more big excuses. No movings. No sports. Well, actually, Lexi starts cheer this weekend, so like practicing for the year every 3 days or whatever. It's like 3 days a week.
Oh wow.
So,
well, Kaylee's at gymnastics tonight, so she's still going.
She never
strong.
takes time off, does she? Like it's not like a season thing.
No, there's no season. There's competition season, but it goes all year long. So now she's basically in training for next season.
Yeah, that's hardcore.
Yeah.
Support with Steffa. How are you?
Yeah. Jeanette, I don't think I got some sun. I'm like, it's so hot here. I'm like, my head is like, I still can't get over the stupid. It's got to be a sinus infection.
Yeah.
I did take a test. It came out negative. I can't think of anything else that it would be wrong for 2 weeks.
There's the puppies. Look.
Where's the puppies? There's the puppies.
Oh, and you can see the eye and everything.
Oh my gosh, how cute is that?
Maria, do the other emojis. Let's see.
Maria, I'm gonna take a screenshot of your comments just so I can have.
Let's see the rest.
How stinking cute is that puppy? BG, thank you. I can't. That puppy's too damn cute. People aren't even gonna want to go past. They're gonna because they're gonna want more puppy ones. What's the next one? What do you get at 2 months?
Well, so the emojis, I think there's 5 emojis and they're all available if you're a member. And it's the puppy.
No, not the emoji, but the little guy next to you.
Okay.
The membership, the little badge. Thank you.
At 2 months, it's the criminality personality face. It's like a face that looks like it's kind of bleeding a little bit.
Pretty cool though.
I mean, it's totally.
And then the other one is the scales of justice.
The other one is like the handshake and the scales of justice. Yeah.
Cool. Luna. I'm not much of a live chat. Oh, see, that one doesn't have it.
Well, not on StreamYard, it doesn't show it, but there she is. See, if you look on YouTube, then you can see it.
Yeah.
Teresa's face.
Oh, see, it reads it.
These are the emojis. Oh, they're so cool.
Thank you guys for helping. I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring it out. OMG.
Christine,
I have to be a member of my own channel. Stephanie Roberts, thank you. I have to be a member of my own channel now because I want to use these.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Everyone go ahead and vote for the funniest.
I don't I just want to be able to put them in there. I want to go to other people's chats and just put a bunch of Michelle faces.
Oh, great! Thanks.
So
I'm gonna show up at Jen Lou's and just put a bunch of Christines.
We could cause chaos everywhere with that.
We really could.
Which mood are you today? Who are you tonight?
We could have YouTube in a total uproar with our faces.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I love this.
Could you just imagine going into chats and just throwing up my face? You'd probably cause chaos.
Oh my
God. You'd probably get banned. People would be like, "Oh hell no,
we're getting kicked out, all of us.
You're getting kicked out."
Us and our faces. Don't bring that girl over here. Don't bring her here.
Oh shoot, she got all of it in there. Look at that, Salty C got all of them.
Oh, stop! Look at that.
There must be 4. Okay.
So it's good that I now know how it comes up on StreamYard though, because otherwise I'd have been Teresa, Michelle, Christine, Luna, because it says it.
I love that the dog's purple.
I love them.
The dog's purple and it goes perfect in the little color wave. Oh, it's so cute. I love it.
It's got Ursa's eye, because she's got the one blue eye, so it's got her eye on it. So it represents her and her celestial being.
It's like us 3 and a dog.
Yeah.
It's us. Oh, I love.
Yeah, why didn't it come up under your Steffa name? I like how she's like, I am Stephanie Roberts. I am Teresa Steffens. You know what I mean? It's just power.
That's my YouTube name.
Thank you, BG.
I'm Christine. Just me.
I'm Christine G, that's me. But I did it because
Christine G.
Christine W, and we kept getting caught in chats together, and nobody knew what we were talking about or who we were talking to. So she changed her to Christine W, and I did Christine G. That's me.
Christine G. She didn't do Christine W. That's me. She should have put like Christine G. That's her.
No, but she's my name twin. She knows it.
She's my name twin. Love that. I did find a Michelle the other day in Mob Crew's live, and she's a 1L'er. I was like, look at this in the YouTube streets. Yes.
I don't know anybody else that's a 1L'er.
I know. I don't
either, and I always want to say Michelle-y.
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 You know who my one niece calls me that, and I love it. It's like an endearing thing. I'm like, oh, I love you.
Stepha's I am the all-powerful Stepha.
You guys are all so sweet.
Oh, look at Missy. You. Missy's like, all right, I want to play.
I know.
You guys can't have all this fun, and I don't get to. So, FYI, if you guys haven't figured it out yet, we do have memberships now, and Christine and Michelle and I have come up with a lot of really cool stuff that we want to do. I know, right? I mean,
good job. See?
Well, I don't know. Oh goodness. Pause.
Where's Barb?
Miss, throw our faces up. I know, where is Barb? She's gonna mess it out.
She asked in our group the other day, which if you guys aren't members of our group, you are welcome to join us on Facebook. She was like, she asked about the dog, and no, she didn't. She asked about the memberships, and I said, I named a whole entire tier especially for you.
I know. I know. You better get over here.
It's the puppy tier.
We have a whole Barb theme.
So we were having Missy.
I love you.
We were having a whole conversation about like what we want to do like with the member stuff. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an idea. So like behind the scenes, here's what we were kind of talking about. Obviously, we want to do like more just.
Thank you.
What, honey? What happened? Oh, Salty. Wait a minute. You are a member. Why is you member?
Oh, she upgraded.
Oh, look at you.
He's a partner in crime.
Partners in crime. So what we want to do is do like a little behind the scenes stuff, so you kind of know what's going to happen. And they may be like more impromptu throughout the day, whenever we can throw something together. But if you guys haven't figured out that Christina's like a graphic design genius, so you really are. I am, and that was not me being facetious. I believe that to be the truth. So she's going to do some of her graphic design stuff, and how she does things behind the scenes and what she makes, and like some of her projects that she's working on and does for some other YouTubers. Because we're trying to like let anybody know that she's not like exclusive. I mean, her being is all mine. But I mean, her graphic design can be used. Anybody can borrow that. At any
I'm here to make all of YouTube gorgeous.
Yes, there you go. Painted beautiful.
Don't worry, I'm not going to like talk design at you. I think we were talking like I'll be working on things, making things while we talk about everything else.
Like when we just talk about true crime, it's going to be more laid back. I mean, obviously this is pretty laid back as it is, but it's going to be like more laid back and chill, and I'll probably cuss more. So just FYI.
Yeah. That's some fun
because it's not public, but. Also, if you guys have been around a little bit, you know that I really like to do like family trees on cases. I build family trees. I have like a Delphi one. I have a Watts one. I've started a summer one that hasn't really taken off yet. But I wanted to kind of work on that stuff like with you guys and, all together. So it's going to be more like chill, just kind of like what we do and how, like, as we research, like say there's, stuff we want to learn more about, like Dylan's case.
Bring you along for the ride.
Steffi, you're not green. You're not green because somehow it signed you up under your other account. It signed you up under your regular account, so you can cancel that one and figure out like how to get it to the right Google account. Because you're not green. But it's gonna be like more chill, just us kind of doing what we do and like how we research cases, and then Michelle building timelines and the fun stuff that she does, or creating binders because that's her new like favorite pastime. She's like, let me pull out the Michael Vaughn binder, and so she'll go over stuff like that. So
you can come play with us.
It'll just be more kind of all over. And then one of the other things that I wanted to start working on was like having a series of videos based on like timelines. So those would go to like members and members first, so you guys would get to see those anything that is put together for the channel, because obviously these are typically lives. The members will probably be mostly lives too.
Oh, and the partners in crime we're gonna do where like you guys, we can do like your case that you are obsessed with, or if you have a case that you extra like, then we can do it with you, and you want to come on panel, you can, and
always
you can totally join in and stuff.
Yeah, so it's just, if you have the information, like there's no lack of being like wanting to cover tons of cases. It's the lack of one, brain power, like you can't hold all that information in on every single case, and it's the lack of time for research. So at any time there's anything that you guys ever are like, this is a case from my hometown, or this is a case that I've followed since I was young, or something like that you want, and you want to come in and help with it, you're more than welcome to. I'm not sure if you all know or not, but I am the Delphi girl. I have been there twice. I met Ron Logan and went to the crime scene.
Ooh,
girlfriend!
Oh my gosh! Hold on.
Hi, S. Hockett. Maria, thank you.
Steffa. We will reach out.
Nobody's even going to be able to move past like Steffa's comment now because of that.
I knew you covered
Delphi on your channel. If you guys don't know, like Steffa has a channel. I know she's covered Delphi. I guess I didn't know that. Like you'd been there and met Ron Logan and all that fun stuff. We love the Delphi case. I hate saying it that way because it always just sounds so. I'm extremely interested in the Delphi case. Christine solves it about once a week. It's true. It's solved over and over again. But yeah, that's like definitely a fascinating case for us. That is so bizarre. I don't know. How bizarre.
They've come up with some new things, huh, Steffa? I just caught a Delphi live yesterday, actually. We got to talk.
I don't know how to fix that.
I don't know either.
All right, we'll have to do some Googling. Or as the Googlays, or how does Jen say it?
Where is Jen Lynn either?
She's listening somewhere. I know she is. I know she's out there. She'll be like, I'm here. Delphi has me. I can't let it go. Steph says, I'm obsessed with Delphi. I would love to share my videos at the crime scene with you all sometime. Absolutely.
Please.
She's like, I'd love to share them with you. We're like, yeah, you'd be like, we would love to see them. Like,
what do you think about the new channel that's been showing about the topography maps, and that where like the exact coordinates that they say the bodies were found could be underwater at that time of the year? What do you think about that, Steffa? I want to know.
What channel's this?
Oh gosh, and she's good. She's really interesting. She has a lot of like new takes on things.
It's like Crime Scene Part 2, something like that.
It's True Crime Design.
There you go. Yep.
Because it said the word design in it.
Yes. Yeah. Now I got to look up that channel. I want to know.
Excellent. I love it.
They give you layouts of but I'm sure probably not what Steffa has, because she was like, actually, I would love to see.
Yes, Steffa, True Crime Design.
Yes. True Crime Design, yeah.
Oh, Tristan Bailey, I've never heard of it. That was a heartbreaking one too.
Yeah, we'd actually like to cover that.
I do. I want to cover that case.
Trigger for me, like because my daughter's cheering stuff, and
that girl's so cute.
She just reminds me of all the girls.
She's just so cute.
The case file on Tristan Bailey's case is a very interesting one. If you do like to deep dive, even though it's not that old of a case, it's just one of those cases where you can really get into and really have some good access to that case file.
I do. I like that stuff. You know that.
Me too.
I just feel like there's so many cases. There's so many cases that I want to be like, because like with Watts, and I hate to say it, I don't even like bringing up the case, but it's like we dug so far and so deep into it that I'm like, I don't ever really want to do that again, because then you're just like sucked into this like hole of never ever being able to look at another case. But it's like sometimes I feel like when we cover cases like quickly, I feel like we're not able to get into them enough.
I agree.
I don't know. There's like a medium that I got to figure out that I don't have yet.
I have like 4 or 5 cases that, like Gabby Petito, for example, I'm completely in it. I'm totally up to date. Every line of the node and the whichever. But it's one of those things where you have to deep dive that and give it some time before you can attempt to cover it. You can put out videos and things, but you go to cover it in a live, you have to work through that case. And the thing is, that case is already at a point now. There's a lot going on, so That's one of those.
Right. Well, that's like anybody who wanted to like start covering Dylan rounds at this point, I think it'd be very hard to do.
Extremely hard.
Yeah. So many cases to deep dive in so little time. Yep. Hybrid Pisces.
There she goes.
It's true, Christine. We do. Maria, we think you are excellent as well. Steffa says that she's hearing from locals that those maps might not be accurate, so she's not sure, which is interesting.
Oh, wow, really?
Well, I want to believe it, so.
She'll solve that part. Steffa, she'll solve that next week, okay? Then she'll be like, wait a minute.
She's drawing up her warrants for arrest in about 2 minutes.
Yeah. I would love to see her. I know, that's why I said, she's like, I'd love to show it to you guys sometime. And it's like, yeah, no, we'd love to see it. Like, she acts like she's doing us a favor. No, you are the all-powerful Steffa. I am Steffa.
If I ever had the opportunity to talk to like a FBI agent, man, I would just be like, okay, now my turn.
My turn. I know. They're like, yeah, FBI, just call me.
Christine be like, we don't need anybody else in this room. I got this. I solved it yesterday.
He's like, so I've been I wanted to talk to you guys about all this stuff that I figured out.
And then I'll put it.
You guys tell me what you think of it.
I'll put a big solve in like a chat and tell them that I got this case. It's done. It's over. Yeah. Everybody leaves me on red.
Well, then they'll be like, wait a minute, you just solved this case last week. What are we doing now?
Well, no,
we're solving it again.
And then she comes in the police department and redesigns the whole thing for them. They're just like, wait, what happened?
She's like, okay, your whole vibe here is just off. It's off. Good. Let's fix that. And then maybe that's why you guys can't actually solve Delphi.
You know what? They would probably have a lot more people calling in tips if it was attractive to look at while they were doing it.
I actually agree with you there. I do. I totally agree with you.
They're calling, though. Like, the attractive is like what's in front of them.
Find the phone number somewhere.
Missy's got it. It's fine.
She does.
She's so friendly.
I know, Jeanette. She says it as if we wouldn't want to see it. Like, okay, sure, Steffa, we'll watch it. Like, just for you.
Gosh, so annoying.
Let me see. Okay, so she says, when I show you all the footage from the crime scene, you will see how fast the river was going at the time of the murders because conditions were almost the same.
Wow.
Okay, that's interesting.
Did you walk over the bridge, Steffa? Or I would not be able to.
You wouldn't walk over the bridge?
Hell no.
Yeah. You'd be scared?
No. No.
Are you scared of the bridge, or are you like scared of like a bridge guy coming up behind you?
I'm afraid of the bridge because you know I'm gonna slip through one of those cracks.
Yeah.
I've always it's actually crazy to me that there's not more injuries at that bridge.
That bridge is so scary. I've never.
I wouldn't be able to do it. It's just too high and too old.
I want to go to Delphi.
I'm all about
I want to go to Rogersville.
For sure.
I want to go to Tennessee.
Yeah. We should take a Tennessee trip.
We should take a road trip.
Yeah, why not? Let's just do it.
My husband says he hopes I'm not driving. FYI. He heard what I said and he's like, I hope you're not driving.
We'll get to Reno with you in the car.
You'll get to Reno in like an hour and a half. I don't know what you're talking about.
We have to stop and save every hit coyote that we see.
Oh yeah, we would.
You'll have to save every animal that's on the side of the road.
Yes, we would. Oh.
That's just how it goes. Speaking of this, I was driving with my daughter the other day, and we're driving, and I see this dog, and it's like kind of. My husband's like, oh god, and I see it. And it's kind of like behind a tree, and like I slam on my brakes. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, is there somebody with that dog? She's like, Mom, the dog is on a leash. But the guy was hidden behind the tree, so I thought the dog was going to walk out into the street. So I had to save it. I was going to save it. I didn't actually have to, but
the guy was hiding behind the tree.
The guy wasn't hiding. I was driving. The way the angle was, I couldn't see him.
Sorry.
Rogersville scares you? Ooh.
Really?
So this is I do too, Teresa. I'm only like 50 minutes away from there.
You know where I would want to go? I would want to go to. I know it's not like a tour thing, but I would want to go see the body farms.
Oh, me too.
Oh yeah, there's two of them, right?
Yes.
I don't know.
What do you want to see there, though? I mean, I don't know. That just seems.
I don't know. That's just what I want to see. I just want to see how that goes there.
Bodies.
But like
all their instruments.
Well, I'm not gonna go cuddle with them or anything. I just want to see how they disintegrate and things.
She's all here. I'm here for the cuddle session. Thank you.
I'm here for inspiration for my next video. Freaking out.
Missy takes killer tours and visits graves and murder sites. You know what? I'm all for it. Is there actually like tour guides that do that? Like in the area, like they'll be like, okay, so we're gonna go and follow everything around what happened with OJ. And
yeah, that's what Randy did during his summers.
Really?
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
That's not like regular murder, though. He's like, that's what you did when you went to...
I don't want a regular murder.
I want a good one. I wish Survey was still there. I have an odd desire to say it. Right? You know what? I kind of do, too. I agree, Hybrid.
Steph, you better stop. Christine's going to be your new best friend.
Yeah.
She's like Delphi, going to
Wait,
Body
you're going
Farm.
to the Body Farm? Then it's not like, how are you doing that? Who is this girl?
Right? See?
How cool.
She's going to share her PowerPoints with you.
This is like top secret stuff that I've never even heard of.
I do it myself. I keep records.
How have you never told me this?
Go on her Facebook. No, I think she posted it somewhere. I'll find it. I'll link it. It's her Jeffrey Dahmer whole presentation that she does. Well, I'm calling it a presentation. It was amazing. Amazing. I just stopped them with every picture. Yes, she did so good. I'll link it in the group later. I'll get to it.
Yeah.
It's Please so do. Good. She's good at
Steffa
that.
says, miscellaneous, you are my soulmate. Not in a romantic, creepy way, though. Oh, man. We have cool haunted tours.
Look at that,
paranormal stuff's actually a little bit more scary to me. I don't know why.
That bugs me out, too. I'm one of those. I believe the Ouija board.
I wish Survey was still there. But the only thing is like, you couldn't get out to it really anyway. So that was kind of problematic because...
JLR went out there like a month ago.
Well, because it's empty now.
And you know how nosy he is. If anybody was going to get out there, if it could be done, he would have done it.
Yeah.
They turned him around, though.
Yeah. I can see the headlines now. True crime creator gets kidnapped by a psychopath using his dog as bait. It's true. It's like literally the meme of like, you know, like to get you kidnapped on the van or whatever. And it's like, I have puppies. And it's like, oh, let me go over there and see what you have.
Little dog.
No, isn't it crazy, Jeanette? Like paranormal is more scary. And then like here we are, we talk about murder and missing people every week. Like, and like literal psychopaths that are out there in the world taking people. And we're like, ooh, ghosts?
We're petrified.
That's a little too much. That's a little too much. You're pushing the limits there. Hyperprices says, I think we should all show up at the saddle sword dress to sell.
I am down. I'm ready to go.
Totally down.
Me and Rontello, we are ready to go. Let's go. I am ready.
You and Rontello?
Yes, that's my buddy. Yes, I'm ready.
Is that a Dylan Rounds place or what's that?
Yeah,
that is. That's a Dylan Rounds place. It's the bar. So, Christine, because you guys haven't, but you guys have been around. Like Christine has been out with the move and then sick and then just all over the place. So a lot of the Dylan Rounds stuff, she's like, holy crap, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah,
she's like, let me get into some Delphi or any of that fun stuff. Some have said hauntings are results of murder. Yes, but they're much scarier then, because now they're like unknown, weird, creepy things that are following you and can see you. I don't know. It's weird. Rontello from Montello.
Guys, please go check those videos out. I highly suggest checking those videos out.
Put one in the chat or put one in the group or something.
I'm gonna put part 1 in there just for a good laugh.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, Jess.
All right, like we got stuff that we need to talk about tonight.
Yeah,
we got all kinds of stuff. There's so many updates that I literally was like, we can't talk about all of them in one night. So Michelle was doing a good job of recapping a lot of them for the group. I was trying to take some of her posts and put them onto the community page for YouTube, so the people who aren't in the group could still see them too. Michelle made me almost pee. I was dying. With your Rontello.
Yeah, where's Kelly? She knows. I'm sorry.
When talking about Rontello. So I guess we could start with Dylan Rounds, but the other ones are much faster. So let's see. What should we start with? Which one?
Why did you have Barry Morphew on the thumbnail?
Oh yeah,
because he pled guilty to his voter fraud. He pled guilty to his voter fraud, and we hadn't talked about Suzanne for a little while, so I thought that we could talk about. We're in the middle of almost the end of July, and they were waiting for the snow to melt in Colorado to go look for her, and we've like literally never heard another peep.
Nope, nothing.
Sad.
So it made me go like, wait a minute, like why isn't anybody? Where's all these search parties? Where's all these people that are looking for her now that the snow's melted?
Yep.
Why aren't we seeing that? Are you guys seeing that like in groups or other channels or anything? Because I'm like, I don't see anything.
I haven't seen anything about it. Mm-mm.
Nope, I've seen nothing.
So he pled guilty to his voter fraud because, as you know, he voted on Suzanne's ballot because he thought, he knew how she would vote. So there was really nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, he was charged with 1 count of forgery and 1 count of mail ballot offense in connection with Suzanne.
So he pled guilty and got probation.
Right. You want, I could read a little of the clip here. It says an FBI agent confronted Morphew about the ballot in April 2021.
Good job, FBI.
Right.
Good job.
Is that hybrid Pisces? Is that new? Because I thought that the data from the Bobcat had been released. Is that new? Maybe that's the data from his truck that I'm thinking of.
Oh wait,
that was old. Okay, hybrid. I'm gonna check that out then if that's new. Because now that you're saying Bobcat, I'm like, wait a minute. I think that might have been Barry's truck that I had looked at before.
Yep, and if that is that, that's good right there.
Yes, okay. Hybrid, please do. I am very interested. The dog is over here tearing up plants. I know. I wish they would find her. I'm like, that's why I'm like, wait a minute. Like, we're coming up on the end of July. There was supposed to be all these searches and stuff. Where did all that go? What happened?
That's what we were all waiting for. That was the big to do.
Well, we want him to actually go to trial, and they don't have the evidence without her apparent, or they're too nervous that they won't have the evidence without her.
And
that's concerning.
Yep.
It's concerning. So that's why he was on there, because I wanted to touch on Suzanne and talk about the fact that he had pled guilty. I didn't know if that was like out there in the world or not.
Orrin and Orson's adopted parents.
Orrin and Orson West.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So their trial's going to be in October. That's not far from me, but I don't know if it'll be open court or not. But I would like to go.
Oh.
And Scott Peterson, he might have a new trial coming up too.
Look at that face.
Christine wants to go too.
I know.
Don't make me laugh. You're gonna make me start coughing.
I knew she was gonna do that.
I would love to go. So I know they pushed that. So they pushed Orrin and Orson's parents or adopted parents trial back till October. So we'll see what happens with that. I would be actually surprised if it's not pushed back even further, but who knows? Hybrid Pisces says the data from the Bobcat is very perplexing. Was lots going on during the night before she went missing.
Really? Oh.
So CDT, I'd have to look up the dates, but I know that they pushed the. I could do it real quick, actually.
You got it, say you don't know.
For Scott Peterson, yeah, I was just reading it. I just don't want to say the wrong date. They were going to rule. They were supposed to rule, I believe, in August, and they pushed it to September. Or they were supposed to rule in September, and they pushed it to October. That's what I can't remember. So that's what I want to look at.
I'm with you, Stephia. The trials, they give us all that info that we need, that we were waiting on. I'm very impatient with you.
No, they never found the boys.
Nope.
No, still haven't found the boys.
And now some of the theories that are coming out are just like to me, they're just extra crazy. You know, knowing the case and now hearing some of these things that just doesn't add up in no way of what they've given out so far. Now they're saying that it could be gang related and things like that. I don't.
For what? For Orrin and Orson?
Yep. I don't believe any of that
no.
at all.
Well, there's a lot of gang activity in that area.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think they.
I still feel like it's within, like meaning inside that home, coming from the whatever they're called. Foster.
Okay, so August 11th. So was that? So I was totally off. One way. I knew it was pushed from 1 month to the next. The oral arguments have been postponed until August 11th.
Okay.
So it was supposed to be June 29th, and then it got pushed back. I'm looking forward to having a decision from the court no later than September 27th on the perjury charges or the juror misconduct charges. I know. That's how it's like, T and Scott Peterson.
I know what I am interested in right now. The Lori Vallow situation with the DNA.
Consumptive DNA.
Yeah.
Like there's so many updates on all these cases. It's crazy.
I think that they're trying to catch Melanie in some shit. Like,
do you really?
I really do.
Because I mean, the consumptive DNA. Like, you think they're going to try to pin something to which Melanie? I guess I should be clear.
Melanie
which one? Okay.
The one that was there at her house the night that she said that she saw what's his name carry him out and stuff. She was there the night that he technically went missing.
Correct.
Nobody saw him again since. So I think they're trying to, because they said that they're going to do under his fingernails and all the DNA on the shovels and all that kind of stuff. I bet they're trying to catch her and her boyfriend or her husband now.
See, I don't know if she actually did anything.
I don't know that she actually did it.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, I don't trust her.
I don't trust her.
Right,
I don't
trust
trust
know
her
if she
either.
did anything, though.
But I don't know if she did anything. I think that she's obviously. I mean, these people all bought into this weird, it's the end of the world as we know it stuff, and I that's odd to me to begin with. But I don't know if she actually did anything to the kids, or if she just knew that Lori was a wacko to begin with. What are you eating now? Don't come over here. I don't know what you got in your mouth.
There's actually.
I'm like leaning on the side that I more would think she did than I would think she is innocent. Like
there's a 48 hours special on it, Christine, that goes into a lot about her. You might want to catch that. I think you would like that.
That's a very complex, complicated case that I've followed, but I honestly would not know how to cover it from front to back because it's so in depth.
Yeah.
That I feel like we would be here for like days.
And Murdoch.
It's a lot.
Murdoch, I haven't even got. That one. I'm not even in. I just kind of know the general idea of it. I've never actually followed it. Vallow Daybell, I followed from the time that it hit the news.
Yeah, you.
But I would have no idea because we've never covered it. That I feel like there would be so much to dig into. Okay, so Hybrid Pricing says I want to know what happened regarding the Cal City boys, the motive, cause of death.
Me too.
Me too. I would love to know because I really was kind of thinking that maybe they sold the boys for a long time. I thought that. So
I'm still not against that. I just think maybe sold to a certain extent.
Right. The only other thing that I possibly think of is that, because I went through that arrest affidavit and it seems to me that one boy was in trouble. And they did something to him, and the other boy knew what happened, and they kind of had him almost, I want to say help, but basically kind of helping, and they ended up getting rid of him too.
Yep.
Because they couldn't have them telling anybody.
They came in together. There'd be no way they'd be able to report, and the other one would always be a liability and never know if they would ever say anything. Yep.
Right.
And they have that connection because they are biological too, so they couldn't chance that, knowing that this kid could possibly speak about his brother,
Yeah.
Ooh.
Even though they were tiny, you don't know what they're going to end up telling somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. The next one was S. Hockett. You'd think they could ping the cell phones to see where they stopped at on that road. Which one are we talking about? See, this is what happens because there's just so many cases and we start talking about them, and I don't know which one they're asking the question for. Yeah. Let's see. Hey, I want to know where is Suzanne Morphew? I hope they find her soon. Max 2000. This is my thing. It's like, has anybody talked about there's actual searches happening? Because I haven't heard of any searches actually happening. And normally there's like little rumors of like, ooh, it's, so and so and so and so are out they're out looking, or there's activity here and activity there. I mean, there was more activity happening during the pre-trial than I've heard of anything since.
Hi, Max. Good to see you. The only thing that I go back to about Suzanne is that when everything was like happening, like current to that day, I knew somebody in what's that town called, Salida, and she told me that, and she was in the legal field, not law enforcement, but she was close enough. She told me that what I don't know if she heard or the rumors or whatever, but her impression that she gave me was that that they thought he had spread her body around the different points in Denver, like the garbage, all the different spots he went to. And
that's why I am interested to go and look at that Bobcat stuff. I didn't know AK released any of that.
We need that. We were waiting on that. That Bobcat will say
all right, Missy, no worries. I want her to go down. Cannot stand that woman. She tried to kill the father of the kids. Oh, you're talking about the other Melanie.
Oh, yeah.
The niece Melanie, Brandon's Melanie.
Oh.
Yeah, see? How do you get that many I guess we see it on YouTube. Never mind. That's how you do get it. You get all those weird people who all just come together and believe in crazy shit.
Yep. So, and then turn around and do it. They think it and then they do it.
They think it and then they do it.
Yeah, and they just do it.
Yeah.
Feels
Those
good.
People are all taken over by zombies.
A lot of angry inches add up to an angry mile.
Right? A whole lot of
inches do add up to an angry mile.
That little thing.
But I fear those answers as much as I seek them. I feel that way. Well, I feel that way all the time. But I always I don't know. I try to stick with my gut. Like, I know that people think I'm weird with the summer stuff, but I'm like not convinced that she's gone. I'm not. I don't think she's dead. And I could very well be wrong, but I just don't think she is. And then, like with Dylan, I'm like, I feel like that kid's gone.
Yeah.
So I seek the answers to so that if Dylan is alive, then I can have the relief that I was wrong. You know what I mean? Priscilla, Reverend Dawn, I don't watch her. I have heard of her. Told the police everything. I wish she could solve Summer's case too. I think I actually heard about her in the Summer case, but I haven't watched. Let's see. Today I read. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Yeah, he pled guilty and got probation for faking her signature, voting for Trump. Hybrid. Remember the arrest affidavit? They inferred something about one of the kids being forced. I think that trial will be treacherous, to be honest.
Yes.
Yes, I do. I think it would be, but you know what? I would love to see and hear exactly what they have. Okay. Because there was no doubt. I don't think anybody had a doubt in their minds when all of that happened. There was zero doubt that those adopted parents did something. Totally good. Even the biological grandma was over there what the heck did you do?
Yeah.
We know you did it. What did you do?
It was they knew. The second they got it that those boys were gone, they knew exactly where and who. And
they'd already been gone. They'd already been gone, and they set it up. This was that's the crazier part is this was pre-planned. It was a pre-planned kidnapping or fake kidnapping. It was all planned out on how they were going to go about this. Yeah. They just didn't count on the fact that the neighbors had cameras.
Exactly. That's why I feel it was a situation where if these boys might have had a test trial with their buyer. I hate wording it like this.
Well, I don't think they ever made it to Cal City.
I agree.
What are you playing around back there?
I was looking for the video about the boys.
Oh.
I think when they initially, I'm just going to say, I think when they initially sold them, prior to them fully leaving them, they had a test run with their next whatever, and in between that moment is when all of that went down. I feel like, in my opinion. And that's why they never made it to Cal City.
Let's see. Okay, so the boys, yeah. Didn't they drive from one of their family's homes to where they were moving? Maybe I mixed up. I feel like they were at the house and they never made it to the new one. Yes, exactly. Yeah, see, I should have read your comment first.
Like 2 or 3 minutes of our video from it.
Yeah, do it. I can take this off. We have a very good video of the boys.
It's a longer video, but I just want to play like the 3 minutes of it. Mm-hmm. Right, I have it.
Love my Charlie Faith. Rosie, we actually are planning a live next week to go over all the stuff with little Michael Monkey Vaughn.
That little guy.
Let me just try to get caught up real quick on this while you do that. There's a case that's about this young man, Bladder, that went missing in Orlando, Florida. I have not heard of that. And somebody needs to write that down for me.
I got you.
Bladder. Well, it's hard. That's what we're talking about. It's hard to keep up on all the different ones. But no, you're right. You're absolutely right. I pray they allow cameras in the courtroom for the Cal City boys. I pray it's on Court TV or Long Crime. Yep. Yeah, agreed. They were never in Cal City. You are correct. In my opinion, is the boys were gone in September, so they never made it to Cal City. Yep, I don't either. I twisted Gemini. Okay, so I'm gonna hide this so then you can play.
Yeah, I want to play it up to like 4 minutes.
Oh, okay.
The song at the beginning, I like it. Okay, for me.
Okay.
All right.
Hey everybody, it's Teresa here at Criminality. We got some news tonight on the Orrin and Orson West case out of California City, California. Both adopted parents, Trezell and Jacqueline West, have been booked a little after 8 o'clock tonight on 2 counts of second-degree murder, 2 counts of willful cruelty of a child, and 1 count of false reporting of an emergency. Now, if you guys remember, Orrin and Orson West were 3 and 4-year-old biological brothers who lived with their adopted parents, Trezell and Jacqueline, in California City, along with their adopted parents, 2 biological children, and another 2 adopted children, so 6 children total. On the evening of December 21st, 2020, both Orrin and Orson West were reported missing by their adopted parents. I'm going to show you guys the clips from the first news interview that Jacqueline and Trezell did on December 23rd, 2020. Interested to hear your thoughts.
What kind of boys are these? Tell us about boys.
Very playful, very rambunctious, and they do love to wrestle. They do love to kind of get rough with each other. They're kids. Of course, they would love to go out. So during the pandemic, we weren't trying to go, out here, and so we stayed inside. It was cold. I was going to be fire. There's a lot of witnesses. Area right here in this house. I open up that gate. I'm throwing wood, bringing it inside the house. My wife's inside. She was actually wrapping gifts, so I was at the end of the day. Our youngest 2 outside, playing chalk and backpack. Do not let them go on the dirt in the backyard. Keep it close. Playing chalk. Came in the house, saw them there. Went in the house, came back out. I didn't see him there. I immediately went back in, asked my wife, did you see the boys? She said no, they should be outside playing chalk. I said, well, I didn't see them, so I came back outside and I started searching my backyard. I searched the whole thing. I realized that I left the gate open and I panicked, came inside the house, searched the house with my wife. Once that hadn't panned out, I got in the van. I looked down the street, both directions. It was getting dark, getting cold. And I hit a bunch of corners. I went up this street. I turned my light on. I searched the whole names. Talked to a gentleman on the street on the other side of the vans. So then I came home and I told my wife I need to call the cops. It's getting dark and I need help. We gotta be going. It's about, I believe, think it was about 4:30, 4:05, it was getting dark, like I said, 5-ish. That's about it. That's when everything played out.
And then when did you guys call the police to report that?
After we searched
yeah.
a little bit around here, it was dark, so we definitely got worried.
Did you say it was maybe within an hour, a couple hours?
No, it was within minutes of us getting finished with our search. It was within minutes. They came and said right before it got dark. And then we called. I searched that property. I even drove around this neighborhood right here. I even talked to a gentleman on that side, on those streets over there. I said, "Did you see some little black kids?" And that's the way I was going to come. But when I came back home, I decided to call the cops because it was dark. They couldn't have got away that fast.
I don't want you guys thinking we didn't try. We actually looked before we called police.
Yes.
So let's take a look at the neighbors, sir.
I don't like them.
No, I do not like them.
But that was the moment I knew they were guilty.
His whole Chris Watts moment. Huh.
Yeah, no. I was like, these guys did something to these kids. And then it was confirmed as soon as that, and that's the next part of that video is the surveillance from the neighbor. And it's crazy. Yeah, they absolutely
They didn't do anything.
They didn't search. The guy got in his flipping car and drove around the block. And then he says, and then she's trying to say, we searched around out here and we searched there and we searched this, that, and the other. And it's like, no, you didn't. You actually never left the flipping house.
Exactly.
You liar.
Never stuck your head out the door.
Yeah, I can't. I don't even know what they did to those kids, but I think that the fact that they have the other 4 kids were taken, I think will probably played a lot into what law enforcement was able to know. And Max, I joined the group Find Brian Vladlik Hassel. So I joined this missing from East Orlando. So I'll look into that. And hi Shmida and Green Eyes, welcome to your first live. And Misty, hi. Steffa, you are still not green. Okay, so Rosie's Hybrid Pisces. Yes, I'm praying TBI are keeping quiet for good reason. I'm feeling something big going on in the background. With Summers, you think it's something big's happening? I don't know. I don't know. There's the big thing happening with supposedly happening. I guess we'll find out soon of whether it does or not. That Dawn is supposed to be getting released fairly soon, but that the Utah District Attorney's Office is going to be making a decision on whether they're going to charge him for the essay of his younger sisters, because one was attacked as well. And I had talked with Mary for quite a while over the last year, so they're hoping to have an answer within a few weeks and see if the district attorney there is gonna do something, and hopefully they get him before he gets out of jail. I don't know how they're gonna do with wanting to extradite him if he is actually not just a person of interest, but an actual suspect, an unnamed, like publicly unnamed suspect in the disappearance of Summer Wells. So Don wrote a letter, and you guys may remember it. I think it came out on the 1-year anniversary, but he'd written it before that. Okay, so yeah, that's both of them. I don't know if I can read that from the computer, but
is that both?
That's both the letters, and then now he's got a new letter that he has written out, and I know a couple channels have covered it, but in case you guys haven't heard it yet, I wanted to read it to you guys.
We can't see that one to read, right?
You can't see that one. Okay. So that one, the two pictures is the one on the left is the one that he wrote at sentencing, but it got released like on the 1-year anniversary. So that's the one. I'm sorry, that's actually the one on the right.
I could probably fight through it. Do you want me to read it?
You could fight through it. That's the one on the right. Well, that one's been around for a little while, so I mean, I think probably most people who follow have seen it, but we can try if you want to.
What's the one on the left? The one on the left is the new one.
So the one on the I said it backwards. I apologize.
Okay.
And
the one on the left is the new one, but that's the one that I have the little hand it's typed up, so you can actually just read straight from that. The one on the right is the one that was already released before. CBK. Look at that. CBK.
I could probably read it. There's no date on it. It
says, Christine, good.
Okay, so Twisted Gemini says they haven't heard them yet. So let's go through this is the one that was released about 6-8 weeks ago. That just doesn't seem right in my head, that timing, but maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me.
Okay, it says, a letter and prayer for Summer. Since you've been gone, I've been completely devastated. I looked everywhere for you, my beautiful girl. I thought something would be I thought YouTube would be the best powerful tool to help find you. And perhaps it still could be, but but at a price. Okay. I thought YouTube would be the best powerful tool to help find you, and perhaps it still could be, but at a price. We something not be able to afford. I don't know what that word is. Our family may not survive. I'm sorry, my beautiful girl, that I completely lost my mind with so many thoughts of people harming you, and I know you want to come home, and there's nothing I can do. I'm powerless. So I ask God, please look over my precious daughter. We love her so much. We wish God you will return her to us as well as the boys. Okay. We wish you would return her to us as well as the boys. I would be so happy to be a family again. Please bow for the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven. Okay, that's a prayer, which I don't really feel comfortable saying that's the Lord's Prayer. Okay. He just wrote it out.
Yes.
They're good. They're very good.
You actually saw most of it. So this is the second one. Oh, shoot.
But I have the easy one of this.
Yeah, you have the easy one of that one. So this is the new one that just came out a few days ago.
Hold on, I'll make it bigger.
That he writes to the people who he believes took Summer.
I believe this is July 18th.
Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, it's just a few days ago. It's not that long ago. Okay, so you want to read that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here. You want to look at this while I read it?
Yeah, that's good. So we can see his writing and what he messes up on, because he does mess up.
Sure. Sorry. It says, to the person or persons responsible for kidnapping Summer, not only have you broken Summer's heart and taken her away from her mother and father, whom love her very much, but you've ruined her chances to become educated, ruining her life. You have also broke the heart of her father and mother and brothers, and in the midst of all that commotion, ruined our lives. You see, the public blames us. I don't know if we'll ever find employment again. Nobody will hire my wife, and I've been fired from a job I've had for 13 years. We may end up losing everything. When you took our little girl, you took away our lives. Why don't you give our little girl back before God's wrath descends on you? You've broken many hearts, and more especially an innocent 5-year-old girl's heart. One day, God will hold you accountable for this crime unless you do something to make this right. Please do the right thing and turn our daughter over to the authorities. We're begging you with all our hearts. Please do the right thing.
This one I find interesting because he says he signs it Summer's father.
Yeah. Okay.
But the first one that he's writing, like basically to Summer, he doesn't sign it your father.
It's so unloving.
He signs it. He signs it Donald Wells.
There's like no emotional connection there. He's just stating who he is or was.
Yeah, I can see it for him.
And who's we? Do they even speak? It's like he's still in the front of the camera mode.
I agree.
Yeah, there's
what part in here? There was one sentence that really struck me. It was
in the old one or the new one?
Our family may not survive or something.
Yeah, because the family, everything's taken from them.
Yeah.
His wife can't get a job. He lost his job. They've taken their kids.
His wife can't get a job before.
It just sounds like a lot of manipulation and another message to law enforcement through this, because he he can't talk right now, and he likes to do a lot of that. So, I think that's
well, and in my opinion, that's why she left. There's no income there. There's nobody there to pay for anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she's not there anymore.
Yep. Who is he mailing these to? That they just end up on YouTube.
The family has their spokesperson,
right?
And so that's kind of changed, because it used to be Robin, the girl from the church. Then it became like Tim Mullins. I'm not sure if Tim is still the one that's running the YouTube channel for the family. Somebody who's paying more attention would have to say, but Tim Mullins is the one who was like friends with Dawn, and when Dawn got arrested, he took Dawn's phone and like cleaned it off, and then gave it to Candace, who, I don't know, there was rumors she gave it to Benny Keys. I don't even know what ever ended up transpiring with all of that, but ultimately the end was that it had gotten to law enforcement, supposedly. But I'm like, why did it need to go to law enforcement? Law enforcement had it when he got arrested, and supposedly Tim Mullins is the one that went and picked up all of his personal stuff after he got arrested. So it really didn't make a lot of sense to me. That was all very confusing. There's a lot of distancing. And so Tim supposedly wiped this phone clean. Is that true? Once again, I don't know. This is, just the stuff that's happened throughout this last year, a little over a year now.
Hey, Aussie.
Hi, Aussie True Crime. Yes, so Tim Mullins is still releasing them from Dawn. I didn't know if he was still the family spokesperson, because I know there was a lot of hubbub about him, but I don't, I'm not sure how, I don't know. They have the family has their own YouTube channel, that this person runs, and then they have their website.
The YouTube channel, right? Did you say?
Right.
Well, we'll update everybody when Teresa receives her summons.
She's adamant that I'm going to end up having to go to court over this.
I 100% am. They're going to have to validate those videos.
Christine's going to want you to solve this one,
because they have Candace's phone.
No, but they're going to make, do you recognize this? Yes. Was this your interview? Yes. And then they'll let you go. But you're going to be there. Watch. I bet you.
She's like, I don't want to be testifying, and I'm like, I will, I guess. I'm good. I don't think it would be necessary, but who knows? You never know, because I
think it's going to be necessary. Watch. I put money on it.
Talking to Candace, that was the first anybody had talked to her since Summer had gone missing, because she wasn't responding to anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously she ended up talking to quite a few people later, but that was her first initial statements to anybody on social media, outside of her own statements on TikTok and her own Facebook, if that makes sense. But he didn't get the phone. He told Candace and Tim to give it to the FBI. See, that's why. Okay, thank you, Lori. Yeah, I remember something. That's why I'm the whole phone thing kind of confused me, but I don't know why it had to go back to the TBI when that's the phone that Don had when he got arrested. So that was always very confusing to me, that everybody was like, that needs to go to TBI. I'm like, the cops would have had it. They're the ones who would have relinquished it. But there was always issues with the phones. If you guys remember, right when this happened, Don tried to tell everybody that they had taken all their phones, but then had given them all basically right back. So I don't know if that's more where they just did a dump, a self-right dump on the phones, and then gave the phones back, and then ended up taking the phones later. Because if you remember, then Candace and Candy, the grandma, were seen buying new phones at T-Mobile.
Yep.
I heard Tim Mullins about Candace's leg recently.
I don't know. I was hearing something the other day about it. I'm going to be very honest. When it comes to Summer's case, I do not watch all the YouTube that surrounds it. So there may be things that have happened that I'm not aware of. There's just not enough time in the day to watch everything around Summer Wells. And
that case amplified the drama.
It's so much. And Dylan's is becoming that way, that if you miss a day, you're so behind on what's actually happening. So I don't know all the details. I try to pay as much attention as I can, because I care about what happens with Summer. But it became very overwhelming for me in the social media side of it. So if there's something that I say that might be outdated, please, just know that I cannot watch all of it. But
whatever happened with that case with baby James?
Oh yes, Kara. I
don't know what the outcome was, but I know that her ex-husband had been arrested for the assault on her.
Yeah,
I don't know whatever happened with it.
That's the last I heard too. And I believe she was still. I saw her just do an interview. She's still fighting for the charges, I believe, for baby James. And that was, I believe, a few months ago. I saw
that baby was so cute.
He's adorable.
Oh yeah, he was a little cutie pie.
Cabbage Patch baby.
Twisted Gemini said, oh no, sorry, that was the wrong one. Lori said, we are still waiting for Ellie to tell from the metadata if the milk jug photo was from the 15th. Correct. And here's the thing is there's a lot of speculation around that milk jug photo and that video that it's not from the 15th. I don't have metadata. And trust me, Christine has tried. That we cannot get it. And Candace never relayed that after we had asked her for it. She never gave us the screenshot of showing when it was taken. There are people who swear up and down that they saw those photos prior to the 15th posted on her social media, but nobody has been able to provide an actual screenshot or receipt of them posted. So without that, I still believe that they are from the 15th, only because that's a weird thing for them to all get in line and agree upon. Because
I just think that sounded like Grandis's voice.
I do. I totally think it does.
Yeah.
It sounds like Candy and Candace in the car. It's Candy saying, it's Candace saying, is her arm still up? And then Grandma's saying, no, it's not. And she's like, and then Candace says, that's what I was trying to catch.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I felt like that voice was not Grandis's, but I mean, I could, that's just me being whatever. But I couldn't pull any meta anything off of that.
But everybody who was around seems to say that Summer was sleeping up against the milk jugs that day. I think that's why I said, not that all these people are the most reliable people in the whole world. I get that, but it's a weird thing for them to all agree upon.
I want to know, when they said, well, what happened between these couple hours? And then she said, we can't talk about that specifically.
Allie did.
Yeah, I want to know. I mean, I think that there must be some kind of.
I thought that was always very weird. She did say that.
Yeah.
Priscilla, I heard one is a milk jug video and one is an actual picture. It's very weird that they would want a picture. So Candace said that Summer was sleeping and her arm was up above her head, like she was holding it straight up, basically. And she wanted her mom to take a picture of it. And her mom ended up accidentally taking a video and then switched it over to picture. That's how there ended up being a video and a picture. The picture is not from the video.
Right.
From my understanding and what Candace told us.
Wasn't the picture taken from Wasn't the picture taken from through the window outside the car?
No, it's taken from the front seat.
Oh.
There has been speculation that says the picture was taken from out front of the car. That has definitely been speculated, but I can only go with what she specifically said to me, and that is that the photo was taken after the video because she had wanted a photo, but Grandma only took a video and then got the photo. I have them
right here. Do you want me to put them up?
Because
you can if you want to, but it's okay. You don't have to. No, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
She was trying to explain her phone and the way her phone operates. And what she was trying to say was her thumb had slipped over. And if you could do it with your phone right now, it can almost be where your thumb kind of slides and it goes from photo to video
I do
to
that
photo,
all the time.
I do, me too. I do
it all the time.
Said, I kind of, I was like, oh.
I totally screwed up recording one of my daughter's gymnastics things because I thought I was on video. And so I literally have a photo from the start of her getting on bars and a photo of her leaving bars because I was starting my video and ending my video. And I took 2 photos instead. And she's like, are you flipping serious, Mom? I'm like, yeah, I am.
I do it all the time.
So Rosie says the 15th was a really hot day. Why would Summer be wearing winter clothes? So this is my thought, and this is simply my speculation on why she was wearing those clothes, is because Candace says she bought those clothes that day. And if she bought those clothes that day, and it's the middle of June, right? So it's hot that day, or fairly decently warm. If Candace buys the clothes, does she just buy them because they're cheap and on sale?
Or Summer's wet from swimming. I don't know about buying that outfit that day, but maybe, I mean, I could see a situation where your child's wet and clingy and maybe you're only 5 minutes from home. You find you have this extra set of clothing, even though it's winter clothing and it's 400 degrees outside, and you put that on just to make her comfortable for that little short ride home. I just don't see that here, though.
Well, then she also talked about that she would be wearing this. So you also have to remember, she does not, when she goes missing, she does not go missing in this outfit.
Exactly.
The jacket is still home.
Mm-hmm. I question everything about this, not why it was taken, but everything in this moment right here.
I know.
A lot of people do.
The first time it was shown, we were all like, "Oh my gosh." Mm-hmm. Hey, Teresa, I have to ask. In your interview with Leslie, she stated H said she was alive when he last saw Summer. What do you take from that statement? That they do think she's dead. They think that Allie was pretty adamant that she thought Candace did something to her.
Right.
So I think that she's like, yeah, she was alive the last time that he last saw Summer, and I had asked her, if she saw Summer, and if you remember, she says that she went up to the window and she was going to like wake her up because she wanted to say hi to her, and they didn't want her to wake her up, so she never actually touched her, talked to her, or anything like that.
She said, I just laid eyes on her.
Lori says, possible clothes in the truck with bought spring clearance winter goes. That's kind of what I was thinking, is it because it was, summertime, you got the winter stuff that's on clearance or something along those lines, and she just bought something because it was cheap. And she talked about that. That's what she wanted to go to. She wanted her to go like to the first day of school which was September. Mm-hmm. So maybe she bought it on purpose so that it would last longer. I don't. So if it wasn't something that was like old and on sale, maybe it was something that, because how clothes are too, that they put out like the next season to close like well in advance. So maybe she was like, all right, well, I'll buy this. I don't know. I really don't know. But this is the easiest way for me to think, is they could easily, they have the phone, they could get the metadata. So I'm not like they know whether this was taken the 15th or not. It should be a pretty easy thing. But they did say at the very beginning that this photo on the milk jugs was the last photo of her.
Yep.
So and as far as I know, they've never changed that. Lori says Allie finally admitted that she did not go out to the truck. Probably, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised.
Yeah. Summer.
That statement floored me because no one had said Summer was, yes. Yeah, but I think that in their mind, that's really what they thought. They never expressed to me anyway that they thought that Summer was taken. That was never something that they portrayed or acted like they believed happened. Allie was pretty adamant that Candace was jealous of Summer and the attention that Summer got, and she thinks that something was intentionally, something happened.
Gosh.
So weird that the milk jugs are stacked. Well, I agree. I don't know why. Why did you put them there? Why didn't you just put them in the back seat?
Yeah.
Or at the back seat, but like the back of the car.
They're almost.
Ellie has confirmed only water symbol. At first, when the very first missing flyers came out, this was a photo that was on them, and they said this was the last photo. Whether that's changed, like I said, I don't know. Ellie's only confirmed the water scene, but that would still be. They'd have to have the metadata for that, and now there's still speculation that she never even went to the watering hole that day. I would get it if the AC was cranked up, but if the windows were down, it would still be warm. Also, if you're cold, do you rest your head on the cold milk? I don't know. Well, did she rest her head on the cold milk, or did she fall over onto it after falling asleep? I don't know that either.
But they're almost perfectly aligned to her body, or she just got that comfortable back there to, herself. You see how it's one's this way and the other one's sitting up that way. So it's sitting up against the back seat or, whatever she's sitting on.
Right. Well, thank you, Real Rock and Robin. I must say you got some great interviews. Excellent job with that group. I had never really interviewed anybody ever before, so it was definitely an interesting. No pressure here. Figure out what these people know and what they don't, and don't piss them off while you're doing it. It was a very interesting time for me.
Teresa's amazing with questions just off the cuff. She can just, you could just kind
you.
of lay out a scenario, a little bit
I was
of a
nervous
timeline,
wreck.
and she's.
I was an absolute nervous wreck.
It's just the way.
I want to make that very clear. I was an absolute nervous wreck. People are like, you hit it very well, but I was very nervous.
You have a way of just understanding what the answer is first, and then I feel like your question comes behind it. It's the craziest thing. Like, and it started, really? I feel like, in those interviews. Yes. Mm-hmm. You said they say don't ever ask.
It's unfortunate that those aren't on YouTube anymore. That makes me really sad for Summer's case.
For the sake of Summer's case, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. That baby needs that information out there.
Right. Well, thank you, Lori. I was upset too because of the fact that, and we've talked about this, my Wi-Fi would not connect at all and let me back into that stream because I got kicked out at the end of that interview. And the person who was on with me had to kind of like pick up where I left off without any like pre-planning of like what the heck that was ever going to happen. So we were going to do another one so I could ask more questions, and then I never actually got the chance to do that. So, but Summer's case is hard too for me, like emotionally, because it became such a crazy. It became just so crazy. Like there was just so much hate, and I'm like, this is like a little girl. Like, why does everybody hate each other when everybody's trying to figure out what happened to this little girl? Because we don't, like, people didn't agree on how other people were going about it. And I'm like, I just don't have that much hate.
Yeah.
I don't have that much hate for people. I know that they think they're doing the right thing, and yes, I know there are people who are doing it for money. I get it. I totally get it. But I don't know. I hated having all the animosity, and I was like, I'm not gonna have people that just hate because you talk to somebody. I didn't like it.
You're just trying to abstract some truth out of there to help find Summer. That's your goal in all of that, you know. And sadly, the drama interfered with a lot of it, just the case drama itself, and that's unfortunately what happens in these cases. And it takes the time and attention away from that child person that is missing. So you did great with that, Teresa. You really did.
As Haga says, I always put the milk on the floor so the seat doesn't get wet. Yeah, my milk was always in the back of my SUV, and when I had my car, it was always on the floor, or it's in the bags, like, you know, 2 milks per bag or whatever. Yeah. So it was on the interview with Allie and Leslie, like the fireworks were going off. It was just crazy. It was so good. such a crazy, surreal conversation. And then, you know, she had wanted H to come on, or at least like make a statement, and I didn't want to do that because he was a minor at the time, and I didn't really know what was going on with his custody battle. Because if you remember back at the beginning, there was this huge thing where like the dad was like trying to come and get him, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't do it. This kid could be one of the last people that ever saw this little girl alive, and it was too young for me to want to do it. Rock and Robin, unfortunately, the channel that I was with at the time decided that they didn't want to keep him up. I don't speak to them anymore, so I can't answer the reason why. I just know that they took him down. The milk was sweat so bad. Well, yeah, and the milk always has like sometimes has like a milky condensation. Like, I wouldn't want to do it. And it's good you stay out of the drama. I like this channel. It's a nice change. I do. We try. I just want to cover true crime and talk to you guys. I know that drama is there. Don't get me wrong. I know it's there. It's not like I'm not aware of it. It's not like, oh, what are you talking about? What drama? I get it. I just don't like it.
She still got her arm up? No. Oh, that's what I was trying to catch.
Found it. That's what I was trying to catch. That's Candace talking. Little Kaza T. Just wanted to say hi, and I love your channel. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming by.
It's so short. It's not enough to know anything.
No, it's only a couple seconds because she says she did it on accident.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I like I said, until Ellie says that it's actually not from that day, it lines up with everything that they say that they did. It lines up with the fact that they stopped at the store. Hunter says that he stayed in the car with Summer while they went in and got the medicine and the other stuff and whatnot. You know, and then he says like she fell asleep in the car against the milk, and that's how she was when he got out of the car, because that empty spot right next to her is supposedly where he was sitting, like on top of that candy. The candy is kind of weird because it's like, we also heard that was old candy, and then, but why is he like sitting on top of it? Why doesn't he like brush it to the floor? I guess maybe he just doesn't care.
Do you know when you started doing that show that I was like so proud of you, how like you were doing it anyway, but I offered like 14 times. Every time you did the show, I offered, asked them if I could do the comments and run the stream for you, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, every time. So a few different people, yeah.
Well, I wish I would have known that. Yeah, Rosie, there's so many characters in Summer's case lying to cover lies, covering their dubious behavior, and it's a lot like Dylan's case. I think so too, and it's unfortunate because then you can only go back to the beginning. And this is, I was actually talking to, I don't know if she's still in here, I was talking to CDT and ATS earlier too, that like it's almost like we're at the point, like with Dylan's case, like I want to sit down and just go over every single time that Candace has spoken and see exactly what she says, the timeline of how she says it. Because what happens is you end up in these lives, and there's these lives of YouTubers, and they're 4 and 5 hours long, and then the stuff is being changed and kind of convoluted, and not intentionally. I don't blame anybody for it. It's just how it happens as we talk through things, and we speculate so much. Somebody pops into the middle of those streams, and they hear something, and then they take that to other streams, and now those people are kind of looking at it. It becomes so kind of crazy. But I mean, I like to talk about cases, so I don't want them to not do it. I just want people to kind of pay attention to not everything that's being said is 100% accurate. And I want to go back to like looking at just the things that are accurate. And like Summer's case is kind of the same way. The real stuff that was being said is really being said back then. I know that the Candace YouTube channel where she was like intoxicated and talking kind of all weird, hi Wolfie, that, you know, it was, I don't want to say interesting because that's not the right word, but it was like, are you going to say something? Like, do you have, like, are you going to slip up and say that? Like, why did you say this? And why did you say that? But I don't know. I don't know if it does anything to actually, I just want to know where she is. I want her to be found, but she's, my gut once again says that Summer would be one of those children who ends up months later being found, living as another child.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm with you on that one, too. I still think
I don't know why I think that.
No,
I just don't know. I don't know if she's out there. Yeah.
Besides everything else, the little girl that she is, watching how tough she is and how she runs along those boys and how she could jump, you know, like climb those trees and
that wasn't mine this time. That was Michelle's.
Really?
Yep. Hi, Jean.
There's 2 German Shepherds for you. Oh, sorry.
Oh my gosh, like
But I was like,
it
wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Shake the whole chat with that one.
So, but I've like told Allie, because Allie Erickson, if you guys aren't familiar with her channel, she covers a lot of Summer, and she's actually been like out to Tennessee and like looked around stuff. I'm like, and she wants to go back, and I'm like, oh man, I really, really want to go with.
Go take a look.
Really want to go with.
It's looking real pretty.
I would love to go. Oh,
me too.
Right?
I know, but then I'm like, you know, Tennessee is not too far from Delphi.
Tiff!
Rosie says my cat's almost hit the ceiling. Tiffany, hi girl.
Can you imagine going on a road trip with those destinations? Like, screw the biggest ketchup bottle,
right? Hot sauce in my bag, swag.
Let's make this.
Jana says that she thinks I should go with Allie. I really want to.
Yes.
Hi Tiff. You know, we were just talking a little bit about Summer, and
with all these new friends. Hi everybody.
I swear Tiffany's the Summer fairy. I love her.
Yeah, she's like, I heard Summer.
Yeah,
this might be talked about right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. We'll get good answers, and the facts are here for sure.
Yeah, like so. If you guys aren't familiar, so Tiffany has covered Summer since like legit the beginning, and almost very I would say religiously, because that's kind of a weird term to use in the fact that Dawn likes to talk so religiously all the time. But she's been doing some digging and like what does she call them? Her files that she's like pulling up old stuff and going through some of the old interviews, some of the old conversations that have been had, some of the old live streams that were done, and just like redoing them and going back and questioning things that we didn't necessarily question then because we didn't even know to look at it then. You know, it was something that didn't really pop up. And now she's going back through them. I try to catch the replays of every one of them because it is very insightful, especially for somebody like me who hasn't been able to spend, you know, every day watching the Summer stuff. So if you guys want to dig in, like to some of the old stuff that's happening, that's a great channel to go to.
Yeah. What do y'all think about like the phone calls and like the leaks from like the social workers or the other social workers? I don't know, about like the boys.
Yes, Priscilla, I'll drop it for you, babe.
I don't know, because nobody can even confirm whether the boys were together or separate anymore. So I don't know how much I believe of too much of anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe one day Tiffany will come up and we can do a summer live, because I'm telling you right now, if you have questions, she either knows where to find the answer or has the answer herself. Besides, obviously, where is Summer? Because that's her big question. Why she won't let it go.
You know what? The Summer case is intimidating. Like as a creator, like to start covering it when you haven't already been, because some of the people covering it are like kind of aggressive with it. You know?
Yeah, that's what That's what I love about Tiffany, though. I feel like if the answer is not correct out there about Summer, or if the statement is not correct, or if there is a rumor that is going to be started, she does her absolute best to keep Summer's name strictly, like to keep the case strictly about Summer.
Yeah, like I'm trying to get in a fight. Like I just want to talk about it.
She will go in and make sure, and in any way possible that she has to do it. And I absolutely love her for that. She makes sure that this baby, it strictly stays on Summer and not. She does her best considering how big of a case this is and how crazy it's gotten. But she's literally been Summer's angel. And in my eyes, she has been a true angel to Summer, and strictly just sticking to finding her and sticking to the facts and not dirtying and muddying this case anymore.
Could somebody make sure to drop Tiff's link?
Yeah, I'm going to do that right now.
So what was it like last week, Tiff? She was going off on this live, and I'm like, I have questions, and she wasn't like paying attention to chat, but she had the StreamYard link there. So I just popped up on her live. I'm like, I cannot let you move on until you answer this question. And she's like, well, welcome to the channel. I'm like, okay, I'll let you go now. I know you wanted to get through this, but I'm like, I could not. I had to know the answer. She's good people. She's got a huge heart, so definitely check out her channel. If one of the mods could drop that link, I would really appreciate it, because I can't do it in StreamYard.
We all have here.
There we go, baby.
All right, we have another last video update. If you want to do that, we should probably do that. Oh
my goodness!
I think that's a yes. That Mia Moore's dogs want to do that. So, well, before we go to the Dylan stuff, I did want to just touch on Naomi really quick, because there was an update, and it's very short, because obviously there's no trial or anything happening yet, but they did upgrade his charges. If you guys remember, Naomi was, I think she was 19 at the time, and she was taken from the Walmart parking lot by a gentleman named Troy Driver.
She was so young.
She was so young. And they unfortunately had found her, not alive any longer, and they arrested him, and but they just upped his charges to the fact that he did intentionally take her by gunpoint out to this specific spot to assault her, to physically assault her, and SA. And so they just upped all of his charges, which will become aggravating charges in her case. So that way, there's a really good chance this man is never going to go anywhere.
Yep.
So I just wanted to make sure we put that up there, because Naomi's case is something that I don't know, it stuck with me. You know how you just have cases that stick with you. So
that was kind of like our first group case we did. Remember, Christine did that amazing, part of the intro and thing. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So Tiff says, to Christine, don't be intimidated by the case. Come over to her channel and hang out, and you'll learn so much. So much.
It's just a polarizing case. People have a lot of feels about it, so.
I just don't want anybody mad at me.
With everybody.
I just don't want anybody mad at me.
Oh, and look at
that obviously doesn't work.
The other creator that has been following Summer Wells from the get-go. It's like, I swear that they must have like a radar, like a summer radar. Cher, welcome. Hi, Cher. I am so happy that you caught the live. We were talking about Summer, and we were talking about Dawn's new letter, and I know that you guys did a live together, and I have it on my watch. Now my dogs are going.
I get my dog over here. He'll respond to your dogs.
Gotta get the cat.
They're all gonna just like start barking at each other like via StreamYard.
Call us out, guys.
I can't tell you how happy I am that the two of you guys did a live together, though. Share and Tip like that.
Yes,
that's huge to me. I was very happy.
And Nenny.
Big smiles for that one. I'm dropping Cher's channel right now. See what happens when creators
sees okay, I'm here. You guys can start the live now. I'm here.
Hey, Nanny.
So why both of you guys are here? What do you guys? One of the questions we had was, what do you guys think of the milk jug video and picture? Do you guys actually think it was taken on June 15th, or do you think it was taken before that? Hi, Sweet Tea. Oh, I freaking love that name. I'm gonna steal it, I swear. Now I'm just gonna sit here in silence because I'm waiting. I'm like, I need to know what you guys think.
I will say it's pretty awesome to see two creators who cover summer, who have love for summer and want to see this all the way through come together, bring their audiences together for the sake of this baby. I love that.
And the best part too is like this is the epitome of creators who don't necessarily always agree and haven't always agreed on what happened or why it happened or things like that, but put their heads together to try to figure out something for the little girl that went missing. You know what I mean? Like that's what's important, and that a lot of people will start fighting. They forget that. I don't think the swim hole video is from June 15th either. So and the milk jug video you think is from June 5th is before June 15th, like 2 or 3 days before. Interesting. Tiff says I question it now because of Ainsley's correspondence with me. That's a great point. Oh goodness gracious. Jen Lou thinks I think it was before. There's something not quite right about that picture.
I agree, Jen.
Looking beyond all. Ta-da! It's like she said it wasn't without saying it. Well, if it's not from that day, why is it so hard for them to just come out and say it's not from that day? Why wouldn't Ellie just come out and say that?
Because they will not even concrete a timeline for us, let alone a date. That right there too, that should, there's no concrete timeline out there to this day, unless you build it yourself.
So I'd have to look at my. Let me look at my notes real quick because I know that it was 12:30 something. That's what she said that the metadata was from the swimming hole video. Did I send those? Maybe I sent them to Allie recently. Like, where did I put those recently that I could grab them very quickly?
This is true, Wolfie. This is true. Right. They give nothing, Tiff. Nothing. Which to me says they don't have any of those answers. So that's why they can't put anything concrete out. It's just odd that you can't have a basic timeline and they don't. Nothing. They need the 309 too.
So that's the 309 is what Candace said that photo was taken. That she looked at it and said it was taken at 309. When I asked her for an actual screenshot of the time frame, because she's like, I'm looking at it on my phone. Then she never provided that. So she just says it was at 309 and that the video was taken as an accident. She wanted her mom to take a photo of Summer's arm up, and she accidentally took the video. Hi, Allie.
She just said that they talked to Ainsley, the reporter. She's so cute. She's like a little button. I like her.
So I asked her about the video, and she also says the time that she's looking at on her phone that she took the video. So that's straight from her just saying that's when it was. Obviously, that's not proof because she doesn't actually show the screenshot of the time. She just says that's the time and that she took the video that day and that she took the milk video, or her mom took the milk video that day along with the picture. share you. Thank you. Thank you. Said Teresa, thank you. Without you and your hard work on this, I wouldn't have ever probably texted Donald. You got us so much, and fresh too. Much respect to you too, guys. You put up with a lot. Much respect for you. Put up with a lot from not just from dealing with Don because he's all over the place, but from dealing with Candace, who was not your biggest fan.
How do you say? Is that Punky or Punksy, or how do you say her name?
Punksy.
Punksy.
All these new names, and I'm so happy in my heart right now. I'm so happy to see everybody here.
Oh, hybrid, she absolutely was. And even though it would seem like we were on two opposite sides with like the Mary Dawn stuff, like it was never anything between us that ever caused it to be like any type of issue. It was just trying to get as much information out as possible at all times, and seeing, what could what could pertain to and help find Summer or get answers.
Yep.
I can't see the names on panel. Let me take this off, and then you can.
She did have the TikTok. I was just about to reach out and answer her.
Background?
I was just about to answer Jen Liu, Teresa.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was trying to figure out why we can't see the names in the background.
So a lot of people did download it from her TikToks and stuff. I think I have some of them, but the video of them driving was sent directly to Teresa from Candace, right?
Sort of, yes. There was a group of us, yes.
Okay, so that video came from the source, and it was not like downloaded from social media. Yeah. As far as I know, it came from like the phone, yeah. So, but still, there's nothing.
And then I sent it. I sent that literally. I just forwarded that straight to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so and I had the rawest one that we could get, and I couldn't find any like location information or anything like that on it. And I tried hard.
We tried with the photo too.
Mm-hmm. Well, that photo came from the photo that I had came from Twitter. So that when you put something into Twitter or Facebook, it does compress it for Facebook or Twitter. It does.
Okay, but I sent you the original one, right?
Probably you have.
Okay.
The one that I just shown is the one from Twitter. That's the one that you would have. That's not the one that you would have sent me.
Okay, so she uploaded the picture. The picture of the video. She uploaded one of them to like TikTok as like I miss you and I want you to come home. I think it was either like I think it was the 16th or the 17th.
Man, that Candace just needed to be torn off of TikTok. I mean, that was like the cringiest mom is missing her child filter fire face things that I've ever seen. I felt so uncomfortable the whole time. I can't handle it.
Of Candace's TikTok?
Yeah. God.
She lost me at the TikTok.
Mm-hmm. No, like her filters that she would do, like her like fire face and whatever. Like I cannot.
Okay, so Alex says, I'm wondering if they got attorneys for the kids' case. There has to be charges, right? My fam member lost her kids and she didn't get an attorney. Just for the kids' court. Okay, 2 of 2. Here it is. I was thinking this morning now, I'm seeing rumors that they were renting the kids out. I don't know, but I'm afraid it may be bad. Why else give them attorneys court appointed separate ones? Just for the kids' stuff. That's a great question.
Attorneys for the parents, or are they like guardian?
I feel like I'm in like the presence of royalty. Look at who's here.
Everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
The True Crime Productions with Prairie Boy 77.
Somebody show them the emojis again.
Yeah, Christine. I can't.
Okay, so Cliff says she never uploaded it until she put it in that Miss You video, I believe. Right. That was my thought, is that it was never actually uploaded, but there was the photo that was taken of the other phone, which was supposedly what she had taken that day. But then if you guys remember David Dotson's interview, he says that he saw a video that night of the kids playing at the creek, of all the boys playing at the creek when he was at the house. like the old gang is all here. I know, Jen Lou. It's seriously, I love it. I can't even. I should turn my camera on. You guys can see the smile on my face. I'm so happy that you guys are all here.
I know.
Yep. It's a good night, right, Jen Lou? Exactly.
All right. So it's in the article. They were given court-appointed lawyers separate ones. I'll find it. I'm surprised they were given separate ones, seeing as they are actually married, unless they're going for like separate custody. Like he's like, I'm going to get custody when I get out. And
hey, T. Bory, hi, babe.
Hey, Wolfie. So yeah, I definitely have all the TikToks at the swimming hole. I'm not a big TikToker, so I don't really know how it works.
See, Allie, that's interesting. I didn't know that, right? But in the family court, they don't usually give them for custody or CPS stuff unless there's charges. Well, what if they are trying to put the boys up for adoption? And I'm asking this because I don't actually know the answer. So if somebody knows it, if they're trying to put the boys up for adoption and Candace and Dawn don't want the kids put up for adoption, then they would need attorneys to fight that, correct?
Yes.
Would they? And they would be appointed attorneys?
Well, they can afford an attorney. But I guess, I mean, I see what Allie's saying, though, is because if there's charges, then they would be given basically like attorneys, like as public defenders, because there's charges against them for child neglect or abuse or whatever.
But I mean, but then we would just be able to see it in the court dockets, right? Or no?
Well, have we seen it? Because Allie's saying it was in an article to get to today, but I haven't even seen the article yet.
Oh, yeah, we need to break out Pacer.
Right. Or just the court docs. This is, yep. And he said that Candace was talking to Hunter on a Snapchat video. Yep.
I absolutely believe that.
But see, that kind of correlates, though, because, supposedly Candace was trying to get a hold of Allie, but Allie's cell phone was dead. And so Candace had reached out to Hunter.
And Hunter had that new girlfriend, and then Candace was posting videos of him on TikTok. And is that why she said that the girl didn't like her or something? This is so much drama. Why is she in so much teenage little ass kid drama? Like, you know how to use a fire face filter on TikTok? Get out of here. Get out.
Hey, JPL.
You know what? I hope that wherever Summer is, whether she's passed on to another realm or whatever you believe, or if she got sold to a family that maybe couldn't have a child or something, I hope wherever she's at, she's loved and she's warm and happy. And it would just be devastating to find out that she was trafficked. And,
this might even sound a little, I wonder if a lot of these children, especially Summer, I wonder if they know how much love they do have here, just even on YouTube. And I know a lot happens here on YouTube, but there are so many of us that truly do. We love every one of these kids, and we would, we go.
I would adopt Summer. Summer can come live with me.
Right? Like I'm curious to know. Like I do. I hope like the people who really love them, they get to feel that too. And I know it's always negative coming from YouTube, but again, a lot of us here, we love these kids. We want to help. We're here to help. We're not here for all the bad that sometimes gets spread about YouTubers and what we do. Exactly.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier, is like, everybody has a different approach to how they feel is helping and what helps, and then other people get really mad about it. But I know that the majority of people are doing it because they actually want to help get the information. I know, like, even for me at the very beginning, I was like, there was the first even just few days, everything was already going so crazy on social media that I was like, I just gonna ask Candace herself. Let's just clear up the rumors, because the more information you have, and we talk about this with all the cases, the more information you have, the less that can be speculated about. It's preferably from law enforcement, so that we know that that's what they know and that's what they're going with. But when they're not making statements very often, then you have to go to the sources. Like, okay, so if your daughter was taken from you, let's get the word out there and get help and stop the rumor mill. This case, unfortunately, her parents created the majority of the rumor mill.
Or is that ended?
Which part?
And then when she was being a YouTube star.
Oh, I hope that ended.
Remember when she would go live and we would be at the same time, and half of our viewers would disappear?
Yeah. Oh my God.
We go from like 60 viewers to like 30 because she went live.
I'm like, oh, there's going to be something in there.
Thank you. I see all you guys coming in from Tiff and from Cher, and I appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out for even a hot minute, and just talking about Summer. I think it helps keeping her name alive, and people know that she's still missing, and we want her found.
Yep.
Hi, and
I'm excited to be here too.
The Tiff's like, I would take Summer in a heartbeat and protect and care for her forever, and I know that my daughter would be very happy because she's got 2 brothers. She wants a little sister. My husband would be like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing any more kids. No, can't do it. There's too many sports and stuff as it is.
You do. You think about it, and you're just like, wow. Of all the things in the world, I'm doing this today. But and then you also think you can love them all at the same time.
Everybody that thinks that about Summer, I just want to say that whatever state you're in, wherever you're at, there are kids that need help, that need a loving place, that just aren't on the news right now. But kids just like Summer, just deserving. My dad was a foster kid, and all his stories, I've always wanted to be a foster parent, and not even necessarily adopt. I've always wanted to be a foster parent, but they're needed. Like, not a lot of people can do it and have the patience for it. And if you think you could, do it.
If you think you can, absolutely. Mm-hmm. My niece and nephew, my brother's kids they were both foster children, and they're now adopted, and they're my niece and nephew, and I think that they fit right in with the family. And my niece is a little bit crazier than my nephew, but she fits in with part of the family, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. We squeeze them all in,
And Teresa, do you have any update on? Sorry, I missed like the first couple sentences of that. Do you have any update about the kids? Your husband's kids. What was her? I'm sorry.
Erica.
Oh, Erica.
Oh yeah. Updates.
Okay, so for anybody in chat, there was over Memorial Weekend, my husband's cousin was murdered by her husband. So my husband's cousin was murdered by her husband. He's still going through all the. You want to sit by me? Okay, go ahead, baby. Oh, okay, that's fine. You can. Was murdered by her husband, and come to find out that yes, it is very loud. I appreciate you asking, and can you please turn it down? Sure, go ahead. He's still going through a lot of the pre-trial stuff, but they are doing a lot of fundraisers for her. I have somebody who wants to talk instead. Hold on one second. You guys continue.
Yeah, I think about her kids,
mm-hmm.
Hopefully they find I just can't imagine like you losing a parent and then the other parent having been responsible.
Right. As a child, your world is just blown apart.
World, mm-hmm. Like double all the grief, and then like.
And then what about your trust after that, just going forward,
exactly. Like, and then like, what if the other parent that is still alive, but, now in prison or something wants to like have a relationship, how they feel about that, how they process that. Like, mm-hmm. Gosh, I hope they have good therapy and can find purpose and goals. And
that's gotta be one of the hardest things in this world to ever have to deal with, knowing that it came from one parent to the other. Mm-hmm. You're the child in the midst of all of it. It's almost you pray they do have a sibling to have each other, and some crazy, horrific things that happen inside these homes. And that's kind of what Erica's situation was, things, people were friends and people were catching things little by little. And she was slowly expressing herself and coming out with things. And then boom, it just happened. And,
mm-hmm.
Her 3 babies are left behind.
Yeah. I hope one day, like if, because my daughter and my son are so far apart in age that, mm-hmm. And I'm not having any more children. Oh no. You and me both.
No more of those little ones.
I could bring a child.
These kids need good people, because it's like we're either covering cases where it's like, why weren't these children taken sooner from foster care or from their parents' homes? And then we're covering cases that were like, why were these children taken from their parents and put into these foster homes? Yeah. It's like they need good people that actually care about children, and there needs to be a very clear criteria, and people should not be allowed to have all these foster kids just to try to rake in a paycheck
Yeah, no,
it's crazy.
I can probably handle one.
Well, the other thing is like, I don't know if it's in every state, but I know in California, like as adopted parents, you get paid too. You get paid from the state to adopt children.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so I get the incentive, like you need the money because you have more children, but for it to become like, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and this is going to be my full-time job now. I'm going to foster kids so I can adopt them and make all this money. It's like,
you can have a home daycare and you can make money watching kids and then send them home at the end of the day. You don't have to do all this extra nonsense. If you don't like kids and you don't have the right reason to do it, then just pass. Just don't.
Whistle while you lurk. I couldn't agree more. Loving and fearing the same person twists you up. It's so confusing. Yes, and it being your parents, what you trust, your constants, what loves you, what's given you your entire world, and then that entire world is just blown apart. It's the psychological, like Christine said, going forward has to be just.
I've always imagined like having like a child. I've always like in my head when I've imagined this foster child. I don't know. I guess I do kind of, and it's. I always think that it'll be so cool. Well, because I think that they speak Spanish. I don't know why in my head I just think that, but that they speak Spanish and that it'll be fun to like learn more Spanish and teach them more English at the same time. So I don't know. Maybe that will happen one day. Maybe it'll come to be, but that's just what I think.
That's sweet.
Okay, I was muted. Sorry. Barb says I'm not a kid person. Ain't no damn way I'd foster or adopt kids, no matter how much money's offered. Barb, you know what? You would adopt every animal in the entire world.
We're going to send her all the puppies.
For zero money. So, you know what? I'll take it. And Rock and Robin, thanks. Here's the thing is like, we didn't really know her very well. I was friends with her on Facebook for quite a few years. So her name's Erica. I do have a live up if anybody's interested in the story behind it. But he tried to cover it up. He basically had beat her to death and near death. Cause then he tried to cover it up and took her to like this creek, about 20 miles away, acting like she she jumped in or she had gone swimming, and everybody's like, nobody swims in this creek. Like that doesn't even make sense. And he ended up calling 911, hanging up, or they called back. He said, oh, I'm sorry, it was an accident. And then a few minutes later called 911 again and said, hey, my wife is hurt and I need help. And she ended up passing away at the hospital. But the paramedics said when they got there, she was cold and they had to resuscitate her. So, but if you guys want to hear the full story, I do have a live. Her name's Erica Evans. It's a very, very sad story. So they didn't have children together. They had only been married for about 6 months or so. And she had 3 children with her ex-husband who are now with him. And their step siblings and they seem to be doing well, but once again, it's like you kind of see a Facebook life, and we all know how that goes. So I hope that they're well, and I know my aunt goes out to visit and sees them. So,
hi, zippity doodah, bombshell.
Zippity doodah,
hey guys.
Thank you, bombshell. Thank you guys, everybody coming in. So, but we do have a whole live on the whole story, and I know that when more stuff happens. We'll cover it. He has a huge history of domestic violence, and there were other women that didn't die but came very close, and he had quite a few arrests, and they should have stuck. And if they were misdemeanors, and it was a big deal because domestic violence should not be a misdemeanor to begin with, not something like that. But
hey, Poppy, how are you?
Hi, Bryce. I can barely stand my own kids some days. It takes a special person to take on someone else's kids and their trauma. Good foster parents are true angels among us. Yes. So my brother's wife wasn't able to have kids, and they wanted a family. And so my nephew, who's now he's about to be a senior in high school. They adopted him when he was 4. He was the youngest of no, not the youngest. He was the second youngest of 8 children. And his family his father was essaying all of the children at one point as they aged. And so the 6 older ones had already been essayed. And when it started happening to him, he, her Jimenez. Yeah, I hate calling her that because her name's Evans, but Erica Jimenez was her married name. That's her husband's name. But So he was actually the one when he went to like TK. He was the one who told his teacher what was happening at the home and that all of the siblings were essayed and that the older siblings were now essaying the younger siblings. Well, the oldest sibling, I should say. So there was generational trauma happening within the household. And he was the one that spoke up at like 4 years old and got all of the kids out of the house. The oldest, I think it's the oldest. Maybe there was a boy. They were all boys except for the second oldest was a girl. And she is like amazing. And she was like 19 at the time, so she couldn't take on the care of her younger kids, but she's still in their life. She calls my brother and my sister-in-law mom and dad, even though she's like almost 30 or probably is 30 by now. But they basically almost adopted like all of them. So my nephew had ended up in a home with the 3 youngest boys, and he was too hard to handle. So that foster mom actually requested that he be taken away, and she wanted to only keep the 2 other boys, the one that's right older than him and the one that was younger than him. And so he got taken out of that foster home and put with my brother and my sister-in-law. And he had some trauma. There was definitely a lot of therapy that had to happen, and a lot of medical needs because his teeth were rotten out of his face. Like they never brushed his teeth. They'd never like physically taken care of these kids. So, but like I said, he is one of the best kids. And when he was little, we were like, oh my gosh. And then they decided to adopt him, and we were all kind of like, oh my gosh, like how is this going to go? Like this kid's been through a lot of trauma.
A lot.
So, yeah, it was. But he's one of the best kids, one of the best teenagers. Loves his family. Every time he sees you, gives you a hug, tells you how much he loves you.
Oh.
He's a good kid. My niece is a different story. She was like the 7th of 8 kids. All those kids were put up for adoption by the mom because she didn't want them because she was a drug user. And she has some separate issues just because she was born heavily addicted to drugs. So her issues are a little different. She's still young and can hopefully grow out of her orneriness, but yep.
It'll take some time, but she'll go through some things and hopefully get through it.
I can't hear you. Is that me that can't hear you, or?
Oh, no, it might be me. Can you hear me okay now?
Bombshell, we were talking about T's cousin, Erica, who was murdered by her husband over Memorial Day weekend. Now she's discussing other family children that were adopted, etc. Yeah. Sorry. We're all over the place tonight. We're talking about all kinds of stuff.
All of our kids are like poking at us now.
Yeah, we're talking about all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of things happening, covering lots of updates on cases, and then just into my own stuff. But I want to make sure that we talk about Dylan. If you guys haven't been following the Dylan Rounds case, we've had quite a few lives covering that case too. His mom actually came out today to give an update, somewhat of an update. It's kind of an interesting update, but we do have the interview if you guys want to hear it.
It's like, are we playing the whole thing? T?
Hold on, I have a person talking to me. What'd you ask? I'm sorry.
I said, are we playing the whole thing?
Because you can play the whole thing if you want to. Let me just make sure in chat that I didn't miss anything.
My son's needing me too.
Okay. Well, yeah, we're gonna wrap up here soon. I thought that the tracksuit was bought at the yard sale and was in the back of Granny's truck. Well, JPL, that's a great question. Did you hear that? Because I wasn't told that. I was told it was bought at the store that day. So I'm not sure where it came out that the tracksuit was bought at a yard sale and was in the back of Granny's truck. That would be, like I said at the beginning, though, it's so hard to keep up on all the little details of what's happened in that case throughout all these months. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody's story changed. So, I mean, if you want, we can do something. I just wanted to be able to talk about her interview. So, I mean, it might take us a little bit longer. Do you want me to play it so you can hop off, Christine? Or you got like another 25 minutes or so.
No, I don't. Do you want to play it?
Yeah, that's fine. I can play it.
Yeah, Jack's needing me.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, kids come first. Yeah, let me take a second to pull it up real quick. Hi ATS.
Here she goes.
Okay, hold on.
Anyway, so it was so good to see everybody. I have to get going. My daughter's been babysitting, and my son wants to eat again. But it was so happy seeing everybody tonight.
We missed you.
Yeah,
I missed you.
I missed you guys too, but this was fun.
Well, Michelle, you know what we could do? We could do a separate one. We could do a separate one if you want, or do you want to stay on? It's totally up to you. I know that we've been on for a while.
I'm fine either way, so you just tell me.
Well, now I feel like the party pooper.
You're not the party pooper.
You know, we've already been on for 2 hours, so I'm like, we could do a separate one and a different time, or
I'm down for either or. You tell me. Notes are here. Do you want to maybe because there might not be too much of an update with Dylan after this, you want to just kind of rock it out with the interview, maybe?
You want to do the interview now?
One of us just play Candace's.
Yeah, I just want to play Candace's and talk about it.
Okay. I'm down for either or.
Yeah. So Dane, that was what my understanding was too. Was that they were bought that day, and they were supposed to end up being new school clothes. But she put them on because she blasts the air conditioner, and summer always gets really cold. She was a cold kid. And I'm like, I get that. My daughter was always very, very cold. She was very skinny, little scrawny thing, and was always just very cold. So even in the summer, she would have warm clothes on. So it's like so hard because like some things you relate to, and then some things you're like, what? Because you don't relate to it, but somebody else might.
Right. Candace said she doesn't use AC.
All right, guys, I'm gonna hop down. Alex Erickson, I sent you a message on Facebook, so check your messages or your spam box. And everybody else, I love you guys, and I will see you next time.
I love you, Christine. Bye, Thank you so much for everything.
I'll talk to you later. I'll see you guys later.
Good night, baby dolls.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, Michelle, give me. I'm gonna pull up the interview then real quick. Hold on.
Okay. Have my new headphones on. They're not acting so new.
Okay, I'm pulling it up. Can you hear, or can we just not hear you, Michelle?
I think it was me for a sec.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Now?
Okay. Yeah, you're good now.
It's me. Okay. Allie, we have to talk all about your trip one day, my girl. I need some summer direction. I have some questions. Roxanne. This interview makes me, my heart really breaks for Candace in this interview.
It's verbal.
It's got an ad first, so hold on. Let me get. I would like to try to talk to JSB in person and other things. Yes, Allie, I was telling them that I want to go. I want to go with you.
Me and Teresa will be in your luggage.
We were like, maybe we should just do a road trip. We can hit up like Delphi and
I'm ready.
all kinds of stuff from over there. Okay, so this is now we're talking about Dylan Rounds, and this is the interview that his mom did today with Nate Eaton from East Idaho News. And why did it do that? There it is. Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear it okay.
I'm here with Candace Cooley. She is Dylan Round's mother. And Candace, I can't believe it's been nearly 2 months since he disappeared.
Can you guys hear this okay?
Of course, if you're watching, you're very aware of this case. But we wanted to have Candace in here to
Michelle, can you hear it?
Talk about his birthday, which
can you guys hear it in chat?
Just a few weeks. So first of all, what can you tell us? What is new?
So what we know, there's stuff that we as just Justin and I as mom and dad know. There is stuff going on. I know everybody thinks it's become this big stall and we're not out there searching and we're not having search parties, but there's a reason for that. We have information that we don't want to be out there searching. We don't want people out there searching because there is stuff behind the scenes that just can't be released to the public right now. But there's a reason.
So that you're saying on the law enforcement side of things, things are happening.
Yeah.
We do know that there's 2 people that lived in the area or were in the area, Chase Venstra, who has appeared in court, and then we have the other neighbor who was James Brenner.
Correct.
So can you tell people who are just tuning in how those guys knew your son and about the charges?
Yeah, so James, I knew him as Jim. He helped Dylan day work off and on. He helped him in southern Idaho take apart his pivot. He lived out on the property. He squatted out on the property when Dylan first discovered the area when he was like 15. He might have been 16 years old. So just a work acquaintance. I mean, when you're out there and you've only got 6 people around you, you kind of get to know everybody. So that's how him and Jim, it was just.
Okay, so you guys know that Jim Brenner is James Brenner. Jim Brenner is the one that has been arrested, and actually in his arrest affidavit, it is stated that he is a suspect in Dylan Round's disappearance. So that's who she's talking about right now.
He'd help him on the farm when he needed it. As far as Chase, I never heard Dylan say that man's name ever until all this happened. I have no clue. I don't think they knew each other. I mean, probably just in passing from being in Montello and stuff. I did find out that Chase's son helped Dylan last summer on some day work, I believe when they were putting in the main line, but not Chase. And that was just one of the run into him in the Montello store and say, hey, you want to come out and help? I'm looking for help. But other than that, I never heard Dylan say Chase's name.
Okay, so Chase is the second person who's been arrested on having illegal guns because he's a felon. But in his arrest affidavit, it does not talk about him being any suspect or person of interest in the Dylan Round's disappearance. It does talk about the fact that they are investigating him or in relation to a homicide, and people question whether the date is right or not because it talks about the 12th, May 12th, which is before Dylan goes missing, but it does reference a homicide. In my opinion, I think it's a separate homicide, but she does talk about it a little bit here. So I just want to make sure you guys know. So she talked about Jim, and now she's talking about Chase, and those are the 2 people who were arrested that have been in the presence of Dylan. Chase is also the one that Dylan supposedly gave the ride to on the 25th when he went missing that Saturday, the 28th. So he had given Chase a ride briefly on the 25th.
Okay, so James Brenner, it sounds like he's a felon. And so when the police went out to just serve a search warrant around the time that Dylan disappeared, they found weapons in his trailer. Correct. And he, as a felon, you're not allowed to own weapons. So he's been arrested. So he's been charged with possessing a firearm as a felon. Correct. And he's in custody in Utah. And then Chase Venstra also is in custody on firearms charges.
Yeah, and his charges, the last I know, and that may be the court appearance you heard about yesterday, was now the firearms that were in Chase's motorhome have been traced back to being stolen. And so now it goes a step higher because not only were you a felon with firearms, but you had stolen ones, which they're pretty sure he stole.
So you've got these two characters that lived out there. Do you think that they know what happened to Dylan? Or
so Chase didn't live out there.
Or Chase did not live out there. But he was visiting?
He would go back and forth between Montello and Ogden. And, you know, what we were told, and that's just what we were told, is he'd go over, steal stuff from Montello, hurry up, jump the border, go back to Ogden and sell it.
Okay.
You know, that's what we were told by everybody, hence the stolen firearms.
And I guess, yeah, I appreciate you making that clear, because the way I think that we understand it is he may have had contact with Dylan around the time Dylan disappeared.
Yeah.
So do you think that there's more here in connection to your son?
I believe so. I mean, Brenner has been listed as an official suspect. And the affidavit that was served to get the warrant on Chase, they listed a homicide investigation. That was in the affidavit. And that's thrown up a lot of questions with people. So, you know, I did clarify that with law enforcement. So Chase was set to be extradited to Montana, and they didn't want that happening. So not wanting that happening tells me something right there. We honestly haven't been told, but that's when they went in and got the search warrant. So in that affidavit, they put in, have they word that, conjunction with a homicide investigation. Come to find out, you can put anything you want in an affidavit for a warrant. None of it has to be true, but it's what you can put in it and kind of prove to get a judge to.
Okay, so I just want to be clear. That is not true. You can't just put whatever the heck you want into an arrest affidavit. Yes, cops can lie, but they have to be able to show that they have reasonable cause for a search warrant or an arrest affidavit. They cannot just make shit up and put it in there. I'm not sure why she's saying that, because it's like, oh yeah, totally, this guy's, you know, he's got drugs and we saw him and this, that, and the other. You would be in big trouble if you go to a judge and ask for an arrest affidavit or a search warrant and you lie to them. Like, you can lie to your perpetrators, but you don't get to just lie to the judge. No. So that was an interesting statement she said right there. Because you can make a mistake, yes. So like the date could be a mistake. You know, maybe they meant to write June 12th and they wrote May 12th, but that's still a little iffy. Like you got to make sure that stuff is in order, because you get caught, then guess what happens? Your whole case can get thrown out because you didn't actually have a search warrant or an arrest affidavit, or not an arrest affidavit, I shouldn't say, but it's like your I can't think of the word. But you cannot just make stuff up and put stuff like that into any of these things that you're presenting to a judge, saying I have reasonable cause to want to arrest this person, or I have reasonable cause to want to search this person's property. No. Okay. Here, let me play it. Okay.
Sign it faster, and that's what held Chase here.
Okay, so I guess we could summarize it by saying
I'm going to back that up just a second. Hold on, because I want to make sure we hear that in full context.
Come to find out, you can put anything you want in an affidavit for a warrant. None of it has to be true, but it's what you can put in it and kind of prove to get a judge to sign it faster. And that's what held Chase here.
Okay, so I guess we could summarize it by saying the police obviously believe that these guys might know something.
Correct.
Or that they're tied into it. But again, they have not to this point been charged. There's been some questions online that we can address with you.
Okay, hold on. So I'm surprised that Nate doesn't actually address that, but that's okay. It is a very odd statement. So she's like acting like they're lying about it. I am curious about this homicide for sure, and June 12th or May 12th. Well, when you look at his arrest affidavit, my issue with it comes into the fact that they're searching, or not searching. What was it? That he called somebody. Because remember, both of them got somebody else to kind of cover for them. So he calls somebody and has them go and get stuff from his trailer. He calls them on June 12th. So you think they go to his house, they arrest him, they arrest him because they find this stuff. And then he calls somebody the same day that he's arrested and says, hey, go out to my house and get the rest of the stuff that's hidden there. I don't see all that happening on the same day. So for me, I do believe it is May 12th until somebody says that I'm absolutely 100% wrong. I believe it is May 12th, and I believe that he they are looking at him in connection to a different homicide. Has anybody heard from law enforcement that they are ruling Dylan's a homicide, that it's a homicide investigation? Because I have not heard that from law enforcement or on any of their statements that it is an actual homicide investigation. I know that they have the, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, I can't think. See, this is what happens when I do this for too long, because then I lose all the words that I can think of. But they have the type of FBI agents that deal with violent crime. Thank you. I'm thanking myself, I guess. That deal with violent crime. I'm like, thank you. I don't know. It just popped into my head. I don't know why. And I'm like, all right, thank you, Teresa, for figuring that out. But so I mean, I think they're assuming something happened, and you can hear in this interview and her past interviews, in my opinion, that she is accepting the fact that it is probably a homicide, and maybe she's taking it that way because she believes it is. But I don't think they've actually. I don't think anybody's ruled it a homicide. And in Jim Brenner's, it says that he is a suspect in the disappearance of DR, not a suspect in the homicide of DR.
Right.
And he's arrested after Chase. So why would Chase's have homicide in it, and Jim's not? Right. I think it's totally something different. So they very well could have gone to question Chase. This is how I kind of foresee it going down. They went to go question Chase and found out that he had these illegal guns that he had stolen. But Chase, they wanted to extradite Chase back to Montana for other charges. And they got him to stay, they had to, and this is what she's talking about, they had to make it so that he could not be extradited. So she's saying to make it happen faster, which is why he got to stay here. So they lied on this arrest affidavit to make it so he'd have to stay here. But the guns they found, they then ultimately figured out that those guns were stolen. So not only is he a felon in possession of firearms, he's a felon in possession of stolen firearms. Yes. But still related to a homicide. So are one of those guns related to the homicide, or potentially related to the homicide, or was he in the vicinity of another homicide? They have not. I think they're two separate things.
I agree.
And I'm all for being wrong, so don't. And if it comes out differently, I'll be like, yeah, well, I got it wrong. But I think it's two separate situations. Hold on, Bobby. Hold on, I missed what Bobby said. She's sketchy. I just lost my son 7 weeks ago, so I'm not being insensitive towards her. Just wondering what she's talking about. Oh, Bobby, I am so sorry to hear that. I am so sorry to hear. That's, as a mom, I can't imagine. James has been formally charged with the fact that he's a felon in possession of firearms. He has not been formally charged with anything to do with Dylan Reynolds. See, so CDT says, I'm still curious about the other body that was found. Well, yes. Me too. Yeah, they haven't actually talked to it. That it's like approximately 40-year-old guy that was found out in the desert. Yeah, CDT is agreeing with us. It's two separate situations. I think that she's not agreeing because I think she thinks they're connected, but I'm not sold on that. And I know that, of course, she probably knows more than we do, and people are like, she knows more, but I don't actually think that they're going to tell her anything to do with what Chase is being arrested for. She's just going to see the arrest affidavit just like I do, because if it's not in anything to do with her son's case, she wouldn't know anything.
Yes. And she says something very interesting down the line a little bit. That's why I haven't said too much. It okay. Almost brings it back to this again.
Okay, we'll keep going. I just wanted to address that.
The first one being, why did Dylan go to this remote area, not in the state where he was living here in Idaho, in high school? Explain what took him to this area.
So we're catching a lot of criticism. A lot of people say we dumped our son out there. That is ridiculous. Dylan heard about this place from another gentleman that he'd worked with off and on, went and checked it out. It was perfect for him. He never had to worry about houses getting moved in on him. Dylan didn't want to go work for a big farmer. Dylan wanted to be a big farmer. So when he decided to do this and go out to Lucin, there was no competition. You got water rights. You got good soil. You just got to, make the alkali even out a little bit. You got everything you want being a young kid coming up wanting to make your own farm. Dylan couldn't buy ground here in eastern Idaho. Dylan can buy ground in southern Idaho. I mean, you 10,000, 15,000 an acre. He wasn't thrown out into the desert. He found a place he could farm, and he was helped. Everybody enabled and helped him to make that dream come true. Not dump him out in the desert. I mean, and it was perfect because when Dylan finally got enough stuff together and he was able to go out there and make a go of it and farm is when COVID hit, so there was no school. He didn't have to go to school. It was canceled. It was perfect for him. It was like everything fell into place.
And I think a lot of people might see the area and think that's not farmland because it's not lush brown soil with trees and crops. But he wasn't farming vegetables. He wasn't farming corn.
And see, that whole area was developed. It was 14 years ago they pulled out. And I've been told it was Simplots that were there. I have never called to confirm that because I have no reason to. But like where the grain shed was and where Jim's trailer was and all that, there's like 20 hookups for water, for power. That's where all the farm help out there lived in their campers in the summer. It's not like this place has never been farmed before. It's just when the last people left, nobody's even realized it was there to go out and farm it, and Dylan has. He figured it out.
So he went out there. The other thing that that a lot of people have asked is that he was involved in some romantic relationship with one or more of the men out there.
Yeah, and when this all started, any crazy idea. I mean, we were in such a frantic and we didn't have the help we needed. We're not professionals at this. We didn't know what to do. We listened to everything. And that information came from a very unreliable source. There is no ground to it whatsoever. There is not a single person who actually knows Dylan that you can say that to that doesn't laugh. It's all that rumor mill started going. And when you're a parent and you're not getting help, you go to anybody, the YouTubers, all of this stuff that we did that's got this fire started. We didn't know any better. We were just trying to get it out there to get help. And so then it's just turned into a circus. And if people want to follow the circus, they can follow it. But that doesn't help us find Dylan. And none of it's true. Rumors and speculation is ridiculous when we have evidence and facts. So that's what us as a family are sticking to and just staying out of the big circus all these other people have created that don't know any of us.
There were some questions too a few weeks ago, maybe it was around the 4th of July, where you and Box Elder Sheriff's Office, and I believe Elko too, had said, please don't go out there and search.
Correct.
Some people were saying, well, if it was my kid, I'd be out there searching nonstop. Why don't they want help with the search?
Right.
Can you address that?
So what people got to realize is the FBI and Box Elder have been out there. And they have been gathering stuff from the soil, from that immediate. They have been all over it. They've had more heavy equipment out there. They've had more dogs out there. They have been all over it. You take somebody who's untrained and just think they're going to go out there and be the hero. They're stepping over the stuff that the FBI and Box Elder County are now gathering, and Elko and all these law enforcement agents that are now involved. Us going out there, civilians, we just ruined stuff. I mean, the whole crime scene, the whole scene, we call the crime scene now, was so tainted from the beginning because of how it was handled. Everything that's there needs to be preserved. And I am sorry, you're not going to go out and go walking through that desert and just stumble across my son, because we have been everywhere. Horses, dogs, air, ATVs, search and rescue. I mean, I think we had 6 choppers out there, multiple planes. I mean, we have covered it. Now that we've gathered evidence, it's kind of taken a different direction. And we need to let it go that direction and not destroy what's left.
Mm-hmm. Dylan's birthday's coming up.
Yes.
20th?
20th.
On August 1st. And what is that like, knowing that, well, let's hope he's here.
Right, yeah.
For his birthday.
Yeah, hopefully he's here. We've had so many people reach out and asking, so that's why we decided to do the seed tribute.
Yeah, talk about that.
So we're going to do, we want to do sunflowers because Dylan loves sunflowers. How big they'd grow. He'd grow the giant ones when he was younger. So we were going to do those, but it's a little late in our our season. So that's why we went with the Black Eye Susans, because they kind of look the same.
Well, I want to talk about the part that she was just saying about like that they don't want all these people out there because you're going to be traipsing over, possible evidence and this, that, and the other. She makes the comment about like a crime scene. Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you.
Welcome. That's very nice of you. She makes the comment about the crime scene, but if they actually have a particular spot that she thinks that they are looking that she can't tell us about, then why would she care if people are out looking in other areas? Like, why would that matter to her? Like, how are they traipsing over anything if she's saying that they already have a specific spot that law enforcement is checking for? That doesn't make sense to me.
Nope. I think this is becoming more about her information and guarding herself, her family, her son, and then this now YouTube world that she feels that she wanted it to be such a huge tool for them in a positive way. And I think she feels it went left, even though I do believe in the YouTube world, we're doing our very best to strictly keep it for Dylan and find Dylan and give it all the attention that it needs. So in all fairness, I think it's safe to say that along the way, she's a mother living out her worst nightmare, but has provided some false information along the way, not purposely, but just maybe not knowing her son's new life out there, and maybe just more or less trying to keep up with the rumor mills. Because
right, and I get it. Like, she's obviously, and we've talked about this so many times. Yeah. She's the mom whose kid is missing. She has no idea how to even handle that. She's asking for help. Law enforcement isn't really backing her up. So she's going to the media, and in her mind, there's true crime creators that are reaching out to her, and she's like, oh my gosh, heck yes, I want to get the word out. My kid's missing. I want everybody to know about it. And then she figures out that not everybody is looking out for her best interest.
Right.
And I don't think we've gotten to the part where she talks about that yet, but I could not imagine, one, my kid being missing. I would be a flippin' mess. Two, there is so much on YouTube that is so corrupt, but there is so much on YouTube that is so good. And I hate that this person, her son being found or not found, is going to walk away. And if somebody else that she comes across has a missing child, they're not going to want us to help them, even though we do want to help them because of her experience and being treated poorly and having people question her. I would think that obviously any law enforcement investigation like this, the first people they're looking at are all the people that are closest to them, their family, their closest friends. Where are these people? Where were they when this kid went missing? This would be a pretty easy thing if a mom or a dad like this had anything to do with it. There's going to be a lot of data that's going to back up the fact that these people were not where they were supposed to be, or that they were where they're supposed to be. And nobody's even presented that this woman has anything to do with it. So now we just want to, like, YouTube wants to bash her and make her into this bad mom. But it's like, Dylan was from a split home, and she is right that COVID did happen when this kid was in high school. I don't know why he dropped out versus opting into some type of online high school, but then I have heard that he did go get his GED from somebody. I was 16 when I graduated high school, so I moved out when I was 17. I wasn't much older than this kid. I thought I knew how the whole world worked. I knew more at 17 than I know at 42.
Yep.
So I mean, I was way smarter then, if you ask me.
Of course.
So, I mean, this kid's going to do what he wants to do. If he gets his GED, once you graduate high school and you're 16, 17 years old, it's very easy to become emancipated from your parents, and they can't really fight you. So, like, this mom, as much as you want to think she could stop her kid from doing what he wanted to do, she really couldn't.
No way. I mean, like you just said, think about, 19, left home, went and did life. And I never went back home in a sense. And that was Dylan too. He was prepping life. He was preparing for that life. He had made a comment, I believe, to Kurt, and this is for anybody who does, find Kurt to be truthful or not. But Kurt did say that Dylan had mentioned that the reason why he doesn't date often is because he doesn't want to. He wants to eventually find himself a wife and have life already kind of set, you know, where his farm's going and he's making money and he can buy a home, and he's very, very mature. Very mature.
But also in the same respect, he's actually very immature because he didn't have like a lot of girlfriends. He never had high school girlfriends. Obviously, he wasn't even in high school. So the whole gay, not gay thing, I think that we're so far past that in the conversations to do with Dylan. I do not believe he was. Do I care? No. And I absolutely think it has. If he was, it has nothing to do with anything that's happened to him. Exactly. That's my personal opinion. Somebody else may feel different.
I don't think his social status or his relationship status in his life mattered in this situation at all. I think Dylan just being Dylan in this situation is what happened.
Well, and you know, they also act like Dylan's like this meek, mild kid who went out there on his own. Like everybody who talks about him talks about that he was like he wouldn't back down from people. He wasn't like a wimp. You know what I mean?
Right. And he was going to fight for that land. You were not going to just come up on that land and, you know.
Right. And we see that these guys all are out there defending their own land. But I just think as her, whether I think that she's this great mom or whether I think that she's a piece of crap mom or whether you do, I don't think it has really any relevance to
at all
what happened to Dylan. And you know, they talk about like, you know, you dumped him out there or whatever. And it's like, no, the kid wanted to go. This is what he wanted to do.
Yep.
And does she have guilt in being distant? Maybe. I think both the parents are probably feeling a tremendous amount of guilt because I think of it like this. I'm obviously not 19 anymore, but you know, 16, 17, 18, I was, and my mom and I, we butted heads. We butted heads so hard in my teenage years. As I got older, my mom is literally one of my best friends in the whole world. I love that woman to pieces. She lives down the street. I see her almost every single day of my life. We have dinner on Sundays together every single week. You know, so your relationship with your parents as teenagers, it's like, you know, you just want to beat the crap out of your parents. And your parents want to beat the crap out of you half the time, you know. Exactly. Every once in a while, I have heard people get these really good kids that it's not like that.
Really?
Well, my nephew's like that. My adopted nephew, like he's such a good kid. He's just such a good kid. He's a little emotional, like when it comes to girlfriends, but he's just a good kid. But I mean, shoot, my oldest son is about to be 14, and I foresee him being the more chill, stay at home, doesn't have a lot of girlfriends kind of guy. Right. My daughter is like me, and I foresee that being a huge issue, even though I love her to pieces. So. Yeah, he's like, what are you talking about? Why are you talking about us?
Talk about water guns.
Why are you talking about us? But I think that they probably both have a lot of guilt for how their relationship was with their kid. My mom was like, why could all my kids just stay babies? Yes. I feel that way. I'm like, why couldn't they just stay babies? My little one says he wants to stay a baby.
Oh, he is the baby.
He is. Well, he's and I'm like, he'll always be my baby.
That's right.
Same here. She put up with so much from me, your mom. So I think that it's difficult. It's a difficult time for people to be judging a parent-child relationship because of the age and the distance that there was physically between them. But do I think that always remains? No, I don't. So
it's almost like they're demanding answers or information from her in a time. It's not, he wasn't 9, he wasn't 6. He was 19, living out on his own. Candace wouldn't have a lot of those answers because she's not supposed to. She lives in another state. I mean, she didn't, as a mother, outside of maybe, you know, because we're all a little different that way. You know, some of us are going to be like, you know what, this would absolutely not happen with our son. And if it was, we'd be out there every day. And then there's some of us that are like, you know what, we know our child. We feel safe and secure letting him stay out there. That was more their situation. And I think because he was divided between 2 homes and that relationship where his parents were not close anymore, where they really didn't communicate, that's kind of where he was too. And that's why most of his communication went to his grandparents and he gave minimal to his parents, which is completely normal. You know, I just feel like she more or less did this on the defensive end and trying to be protective all at the same time. But you could see where the families have their differences. And I believe that's where maybe the PI was brought in. And even though he drew out a lot of information.
They've been split up for like 15 years at this point. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Dylan was 19. Yeah, he was 4. So his whole life was living, independently in between the two.
Exactly.
I kind of see it. I would have left. I would have gone and done what I wanted to do too. I did.
Me too.
Open minds. I'm so glad you're here.
Hi.
She's like, I'm so glad I found your channel.
Hey.
Okay, so we'll keep going with this, but I for me, irrelevant whether I think she's a good mom or not a good mom. I have no idea. I'm sure Dylan loved his mom, and I'm sure she loved Dylan. And this woman is not somebody who did not care about her kid, because you can see everything she has done from that Monday she found out he was missing. She has done nonstop. She drove out there. She's been looking. I know people are like, "Why? How could she leave and how could she go back to work?" But I'm like, shit, like how maybe you can't pay your bills, like I don't know, like do you lose your home? I don't know. And she's almost at the point where she had so much lack of help from law enforcement that now she's like, thank God for law enforcement, and just let them do whatever they need to do. And she's like, I'm putting my utter faith and trust in that they're gonna find my kid.
Her heart is completely broken. This interview shows it all. It shows not only is her heart broken, you could see how scared she is for her son, that you see the things that mattered in the first interview just don't matter anymore. I cried for this interview because I feel like this interview for her says a lot. It just says
right. Well, I think that there's a lot that's been happening over the last, few weeks of look at Christine, she's a member.
Welcome, new member.
Welcome, new member. But I think there's a lot of rumors, and I do wish that she would answer some of the questions that I know she can answer. And Nate doesn't ask, but I also don't think Nate even knows to ask those questions, because he doesn't understand that there's all these rumors flying around through YouTube, where every day we're sitting here questioning about this keep fob and about the gun and which gun, and it's like I want to be able to ask her, but I know that she's like anti-YouTubers now because of what she's been through.
Oh yeah, and you see she's defending herself every inch of the way, even in this interview. She now feels like she's up on the cross now, whether it's being a mother. Now her son is, missing, and she's answering to that, and then she has to defend herself and her family, her former relationship, her other children. It's just, and again,
they dug into like, oh, she should be arrested for this and that and the other, and it's like
so crazy.
Okay, now we're trying to figure out all these other crimes that these people have committed instead of actually caring about where Dylan is.
Exactly.
And she didn't do anything to Dylan. So once again, I care about where Dylan is. So, okay, we'll keep going. We'll keep going with the interview. I keep stopping. Sorry.
The same, and just we've got people from Australia to South America that have reached out. So we'll have Scotty's and Rigby, some of our local stores in the Hazleton Magic Valley area. I have some help in the Box Elder area. We'll put the packets together, distribute them as best we can, and then for those who can't get their hands on them, just plant something for them.
Do you remember what you did on his 19th birthday last year?
He was farming, grain harvest. Yeah,
so he was working.
He was working. Yep. Yeah. When he was younger, we'd do fireworks. I'd go to Jackson. We'd do fireworks all the time, but he was always in the fields. I mean, he was born during grain harvest, and he was always in the fields on his birthday. Find him and give him lunch. You could tell him, "Come on, son, I'll take you wherever you want to go." "No, I'm working." Okay.
Well, I know when there's missing people's cases, in the beginning, you think of every scenario possible. Right. Are they alive? Are they dead? Where could they be hiding? Are they kidnapped? Whatever it may be. And when those court documents came out that said homicide investigation, and when you've learned more and more that the public may not know, what has the feeling been like in your mind?
Honestly, to have Box Elder switch it and say those words has been a relief, because what needs to be done is getting done. We pretty much all knew from the first day we went out there, and I know people think that's horrible to say, and nobody wanted to believe it, especially us. Justin and I, we didn't want to believe it, but we both know our son, and we know nothing would take him away from his farm. Absolutely nothing. Not even for a day. He had to get the rest of that seed in the ground. Nothing would have taken him away from there.
This is where I think that she talks about like that they're accepting that this kid did not walk away on his own, that there is something sinister has happened to him.
Yeah,
I think that she's basically saying like, Justin and I know that that this is not going to end well, but we are not going to give up quite yet, in my opinion.
So it was just one of those gut feelings where you don't want it to be true. It's your parents' worst nightmare. But when you have a kid like Dylan and his patterns and his drive and his passion has been there, since he was a little kid, and that's his baby, we knew he wouldn't leave. There's no way. Not just not leave, but leave without his pickup. Leave without his boots. All the stuff was right in front of us from day one. It was all right there.
So what happens now?
We wait. There's a lot of stuff being processed. So hopefully that'll give us a few more answers. There's been some stuff that has been processed that's given us some answers. And we hope one of these two guys talks.
And we know that so far Dylan has not been found.
Correct.
There's a lot of stuff. Oh, thank you, Allie.
Allie.
There's a lot of stuff that has been processed and has given us answers.
Yes.
And there's a lot of stuff yet to be processed.
And then the way he left his area.
A lot of stuff, though? What a lot of stuff.
Listen, they spent a lot of time in that grain shed. A lot of things could have been hit.
You got to make sure, otherwise Kurt gets upset.
Oh, shop. That's right. That's right. It is a shop. It is a
Can't
shop.
have Kurt getting mad.
No, not at me these days. Nope. Shop. But think about it. All the tools and things, the individualized things that were possibly touched, things possibly splattered on. I'm just really going there. But there's a lot that I would think there would be a lot of evidence in there if that's where I believe they collected most of it from, and that's where the FBI spent a good portion of the time.
You think it came from the grain shed, the shop? Oh, hi,
absolutely,
love. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I absolutely do. I feel like in my mind, in my theory, I have a decent one. I feel. I don't even feel like I need to listen to any more interviews anymore, to be honest, outside of Candace for updates.
Well, this is why I want to do something with CDT and Amber. I want to go through like just one of what she's saying. What did she say before that she's not saying now? Yeah. I'm sorry. I know that there's people are saying like the questions have been answered about like this gun and this key fob. That still really bothers me, and especially if they did find the key fob, that they found Dylan's key fob in his pants
in the trailer.
Then why wouldn't he have his key fob on him?
You would think.
I have many questions about that. And if you found it in the pants, you had to get the one from the grandparents and you broke the window. I have questions about that. I cannot let this key fob and this pistol go.
Yep.
Because there's the shotgun that was supposedly missing, and they did find the shotgun at grandma's or great grandma's, whichever one
they
she
did
says
find
at the
it.
time. The shotgun, but not the pistol. But then now they're saying that the pistol was found, and I still.
That's where I get very, very, and I feel like from the beginning, not meaning to, that's where a lot of this misinformation came out. And then I think that's kind of where maybe some of the locals kind of got involved in, because they're like, wait a second, no, we live out here. We don't quite think that's right. So then they gave their answer. And now we have three different types of speculation going on. And one's being treated as it's confirmed because it's his mother. But here the information was wrong. And we had a whole lot of that for the first couple of weeks.
Well, and they also, like the official Dylan Rounds Facebook page, the wording of it is very specific on that person is only at Jazz who runs it is only allowed to say what LE has said they have found.
Exactly.
Like that's frustrating. Like if the parents have found it or it has been found, and then you got Kurt that says things are found. There's so much. Oh, 10-9. I gave up on some other channels and I've been waiting until today for your recap. There's so much, man. There's so much. If you want good recaps, I highly suggest CDT, Amber Truth Seeker, and this channel. Like we also work together to try to share our information so that we kind of know there's so much going on. There you got Kurt that's talking all over. Half those freaking interviews are getting deleted. That's infuriating to me. Oh, it so makes me so mad. Like, why are we doing all this talking and then deleting? Like, if you want people to hear what you have to say, then leave it up. Otherwise, you become not credible, because now all this information is gone, and now it's just making people say what they think they heard or what they thought they thought was said, and now it's so muddied all over because the physical proof is gone of what was said. And then you have now his two daughters are talking, Sammy 1 and Sammy 2. They're both talking on YouTube.
Well, now that'll be a war by itself. That's what ends up happening. You feel like
oh goodness, sorry, hold on.
You feel like you get a decent fact out there, something, and then it gets debunked by a new family member who could possibly be bringing on their new set of either truths or lies, depending upon how they say it. And then it's just these layers and layers and layers of just, and then we're trying to sort through that information and these lives and sort through that. And it's just, it doesn't get you any closer to finding Dylan. So it's almost like you have to rub all that out. You have to just, and it's hard to do because there's information there. You know, they all have a piece of something. I can't help but to listen to Kurt sometimes because I feel like we don't get information from anywhere. And he talks so much that it's almost like I have to listen to that and weed through it and see if there's a possible, decent, close enough fact in there somewhere, you know, and then just build from that. There's just too much in this case, too much speculation. And then there's just too many random people, whether they're family members, locals, that just have no part, and they're giving their information but it's their side of things. And that's what we're getting back in return. And that's not helping to find Dylan.
It's unfortunate, but true. Yep. Yeah. Bobby, thank you. Thank you. I know we had some good people. We got some good people that hang out here. Some very smart people too.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's finish. We'll finish this up. Let's see.
But again, his birthday's August 1st, so they're packets of seeds, and you're asking people that are interested to plant them in his honor.
Yeah. And like I said, there'll be Scotty's and Rigby. They'll have a couple thousand of them, and they'll kind of be everywhere. And people can go to the Facebook page and request them. And, you know, you don't have to get the ones from us. Just we've got trees dedicated to them. I mean, we've got people they love the kid.
How have you all been holding up? I mean, it's been 2 months. There's a lot of nasty commenters, people saying stuff online. Yeah. How has your family been?
We're okay. The comments, the focus that has come on to, especially me, that was driven by me. I'm the one who caused the fire to get the focus off of the negativity towards Dylan. I'm fine. People can say whatever they want. The people who know me know me. The people, like I said, that want to follow the circus, they should be ashamed. You know, you're talking about a young man missing, and you are out there pointing fingers about the parents and their past and stuff that's just so ridiculous. Like, I abandoned my kids for 3 years. No. I mean, it's astronomical, the stuff that people come up with and want to believe. The kids have been back and forth between me and Justin since we got divorced 15 years ago. You know, just all of this craziness that's been portrayed onto the family, it did what we wanted. It took it off of Dylan. I mean, these YouTube videos now, all this stuff that's going on, they don't even hardly mention Dylan's name. You know, they're on a witch hunt for the family. So I guess if that makes people feel like they're doing something to help bring Dylan home, there's no sense in even trying to dispute it with them because they got their mind made up.
Okay. I have to stop because this part really... So it really bothers me. You're saying like your heart was breaking. Oh, Pink, you're so cute. And hybrid Pisces. You guys, I love you guys. Thank you. But she says something here that kind of bothers me.
What?
She says like the fires that were started, like she's about her, like she started them.
Oh, I think she means the YouTube wave of opening. I think she has huge regret and lots of lot of likeness left for YouTubers at all. At all.
Well, see, that's different because I take it totally differently. I take
Do
it.
you?
Yeah, I take it like she gave out this. I don't know. I'm gonna just back it up. I want to replay it because I want to play it. I'm gonna play it through because she says something else right after this. But I just pay attention to what she says because
I'm too busy crying.
No, don't cry. Don't cry.
Don't
Don't cry.
cry.
We're almost done. We're almost done. Let me go back a little bit.
You know, they're on a witch hunt for the family. We wanted it took it off of Dylan. I mean, these.
I gotta figure out where it's at.
You know, just all of this craziness that's been portrayed onto the family. It did what we wanted. It took it off of Dylan. I mean, these YouTube videos now.
It did what we wanted, and it took it off of Dylan.
I think.
Okay. Hold on. I gotta play it in its entirety because I know I'm messing up the spot. So hold on. Let me get to the right spot because you gotta hear the whole thing in context because I don't want to mess it up. I know I should have paid attention to where I stopped it.
And you are out there pointing fingers.
Darn it.
Off of the negativity.
How have you all been holding up?
Let's go.
I mean,
right
it's
here.
been 2 months. There's a lot of nasty commenters, people saying stuff online. How has your family been?
We're okay. We're the comments, the focus that has come on to, especially me, that was driven by me. I'm the one who caused the fire to get the focus off of the negativity towards Dylan. I'm fine.
I caught it.
People can say whatever they want. The people who know me know me. The people, like I said, that want to follow the circus, they should be ashamed. You know, you're talking about a young man missing, and you are out there pointing fingers about the parents and their past and stuff that's just so ridiculous. Like, I abandoned my kids for 3 years. No. I mean, it's astronomical, the stuff that people come up with and want to believe. The kids have been back and forth between me and Justin since we got divorced 15 years ago. You know, just all of this craziness that's been portrayed onto the family. It did what we wanted. It took it off of Dylan. I mean, these YouTube videos now, all this stuff that's going on, they don't even hardly mention Dylan's name. You know, they're on a witch hunt for the family. So I guess if that makes people feel like they're doing something to help bring Dylan home, you know, there's no sense in even trying to dispute it with them because they got their mind made up. And it doesn't help any of us.
And you all have one official Facebook page.
Yes.
With official updates that you can follow.
Yep.
And we, of course, will continue to follow it here as things develop, and hopefully there will be big developments soon.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
Thank you, Candace.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I think I caught what you caught now.
And I don't want to go too far into it because this is once again why people are she's going to be like, see, this is why I don't talk to YouTubers because you take everything I say and you spin it around and it's like, I don't want to spin it. I just want to kind of understand it. She's highly hurt by the PI suggesting Dylan was gay. It's a religious thing, I think. I think that she's probably highly hurt because she didn't find it relevant to anything, and then they turned her basically into a gay basher, and that she took her kid and put it out there. I get her whole feelings about the PI, and I totally get it. It was just a weird way to say that. Like, I started those fires,
right?
But it took it off of Dylan. So it took the negativity off of Dylan.
She does say
and now
the
negativity is just towards her because is that what she means? Because I think maybe she means like now look they're not talking about Dylan being gay or Dylan being into drugs or Dylan being in any of this. All the negative stuff is only about me, which I'm good with. Or does she mean like, look, they're not talking about Dylan anymore? Because well, if she thinks that, then she's really not paying any attention to you two because everybody's fucking talking about Dylan. I don't know. It was weird.
No, it was weird. I didn't say it like that, and now I do. I had to catch it that third time. She totally does. She says to take the negativity basically off of Dylan. She put out that fire and sparked one within herself. Well, for herself.
So she did. So that's my question. So she put out information that she was embezzling money from the family? Because that was like the big thing is that Justin tried to hit her with a car and that she was embezzling money from the family and they caught her and so
I don't
so I'm going to take you back for just a second. Do you remember there was so Candace's ex-fiance or whatever has a new girlfriend, and that new girlfriend contacts the PI, and then they play, and she goes either on or they play a call on No Thanks.
Okay. I missed the girlfriend call.
Oh, you did? Okay, so it's Candace's ex's new girlfriend, and she's the one who like puts all this stuff out about Candace, about like basically like what a terrible person Candace is.
Okay.
So I'm like, when she says this, I'm like, did she do that on purpose?
And why take this time to do that? Her stepson, technically, or just being a new girlfriend, whichever. Her love's son is missing. What do you get out of destroying the mother right now publicly? Put out information that can lead us towards Dylan.
But she just said right now she's the one who started the fire about herself. So that's my question. Did she put it out?
I don't know if she means like because she knows that her life was not perfect and she does have maybe some skeletons that people would talk about, that just with her putting herself in the forefront of it and then coming to defend Dylan, it would shift the focus more to her. You think that maybe what?
Why do we want the focus to be on her?
Well,
because I'm sitting here saying that we don't want the focus to be on her. Stop talking about her. Stop thinking about her.
But she
and
doesn't.
But you
got to remember the first description of Dylan was not a flattering one in her eyes. We got the Jim Terry version of Dylan, and she felt like a lot of YouTube was taking that in, that her son was gay.
Oh, peacemaker. So I'm not absolutely at all. I think that you must have missed everything that happened right before this, because that's exactly what I was saying. Is I don't, and I think that. Right. I think that she did say it because of the negativity off of Dylan, which is literally what I just said. I'm definitely not mean or judgmental, because I'm the one saying to leave her alone.
Yes.
So
we're just questioning what she means when she says she's taking one thing off of one subject, meaning her son, and then back on herself. Nothing in a negative, malicious way, or even her intentions.
I don't think it matters in the scheme of things whether she was a good or a bad mom. So I think people should stop talking about it.
It doesn't. Her son was 19.
You might have just come in a little bit late to what I was saying and only heard what you wanted to, but that's okay.
Dylan, 19, living on his own.
Welcome to stay or welcome to get mad. Either way, I don't think that. I want to know what she means by that. I wish there had been a little bit of an elaboration.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand, and it took me a minute.
Because she prefers people trashing the family versus trashing Dylan. Mm-hmm. But then we don't want the focus off of Dylan. We actually want the focus on Dylan. We just don't want the focus on the negative parts of Dylan. But problem is, if there are quote unquote negative parts, which I don't think being gay is negative, so let's make that very clear. But it would be information for what could have transpired. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that now. At first, when it came up, I was like, well, is it important or is it not? I think that knowing what he was into, knowing who he's friends with, knowing what type of person he is extremely important. Knowing what type of person Candace is somewhat relevant, but it's not what's important to finding Dylan, because she doesn't have anything to do with it.
I agree. Especially with Dylan being his age and the circumstance. If he was 9 years old and he was supposed to be next to his mom every day, all day, I'd understand that. He's not. He's 19. He was given a farm in a sense. He worked very hard. He had his own life. So we don't have a choice but to focus on Dylan. And
exactly. I agree.
We have to know.
I don't want to focus on Candace. I want people to leave Candace alone, but I want to make sure that when she does speak, that she's able to, this is what I said at the very beginning of this, was I wish that she would be able to answer questions that run all over YouTube. And I don't think that Nate Eaton knows that the crap that's all over, that she should be able to clear up very easily and stop the rumor mill, because he's not all over YouTube, which it totally makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Look, you had even wanted Candace to come on so you can clarify questions so she can have clarified answers, because we understand how the YouTube game goes.
For this circus that she refers to, because I do believe it is a circus, because this is what happens. Summer Wells, Chris Watts, Gabby Petito was much better because of the amount of information law enforcement gave out.
Yes.
But the interviewer didn't give her a chance to explain what she meant. The problem, and this is my point, is the problem with that is because he doesn't know the questions that are pending and causing all the chaos of what's happening. So people are going to take that statement and it's going to be a problem. Mm-hmm. Watch. It will be a problem. Do I think she meant it?
Well, look, it's
I don't
already.
know how I think she meant it. That's actually my question. I want to know. I want somebody to ask her, what did you mean by that? What fire did you start to take away from Dylan? Why did you start a fire? Was it for the negativity on Dylan? And is the negativity on Dylan the fact that he was potentially gay? Because I would say the majority of us on here don't give a crap if he was, unless it has something to do with why he was taken.
Exactly. That initially we did want to know what was what. We didn't care what was what, but we just wanted to know so that we knew what direction to start. You know, anybody who's helping to investigate this or discover new things, or even, you know, you have to know little specific things. And unfortunately, Candace didn't have a lot of those answers in the beginning. And when she did, she didn't have the correct information, unfortunately.
But that's the problem, is because she didn't. That's when she became public enemy number one. So exactly. I want to know, instead of just being like, hey, I didn't know my kid gave Chase the ride. What she did, she does that in one of the interviews. Right. Why I want to know what kind of fire she's talking about. Did she put out information about herself, poor information about herself, so people would focus on that? Because I don't want the focus taken away from Dylan. And I don't think she really does either. No, I
don't think she does either at all. I think it's more or less like what you're saying. I think this was more, and when she talks about that fire, I don't think that was initially. She came to YouTube initially looking for help because law enforcement was not helping her. I definitely think she's talking about, I really think that whole gay thing put a huge dent in her when it came to YouTube in such a negative way. And she's like, why did I do this? And then everything became about that. Everything. And it was almost like you lost sight of every little piece of information that came out about Dylan that was relevant. It just went right to this gay theory. And I think that stuck with her too. So she, from that point on, I think, no, it's not. And I think from that point on,
it got hammered in. It could have been an easy question like, well, was Dylan gay? And does anybody around him think that he might have been? Because does that play into it? Because it leads to a whole different pool of people who could be suspects in what happened to him.
Absolutely.
But did it need to be hammered in for, a month straight? No. Is she right about that? Yes. But did she create something on purpose? That's my question. And Nate doesn't follow up with that. And she's being very calculated about her words, because she's at the very beginning, she says, there's a lot of things I cannot say, I'm not allowed to say.
She trips it up, actually, when you think about it. And even for like law enforcement, I can almost see them maybe not sharing certain pieces of information just from how the beginning of this case went. And again, that goes back to those fires that I'm going to assume that she's talking about, because those fires didn't start so much until she didn't blow up herself or get upset until the gay thing had came out, the gay theory had came out. And then it started to seem like boom, 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 boom. All these things started coming out about, now we were focusing on Candace and then Kurt and this one and that one. And that came out after. So I just, I think that was more of her just getting very, very defensive and pissed that she came to YouTube thinking she didn't get what she wanted out of it. And all they did was bash her kid. In her mind, I don't feel like that's what we did, but in her mind,
because
that's
I think
what happened.
Because the chaos is where people pay attention.
Of course.
And why that is, I'll never understand it. But for whatever reason, people are drawn to that chaos, so that's what they listen to. Or these people who are quote unquote close to the case or that live in the town, they're talking to these creators that sometimes have chaos, and it's not even the creator's fault necessarily. Sometimes it's just chaos that is around them. And then what they're saying is being lost because of the chaos that is around them.
Yep. And because everybody wants to know whether, all the juicy stuff, it stops being about where is Dylan. Then it becomes, well, what about Dylan? Or just whoever we're speaking about, whichever case it just so happens to be. And that's where you start finding, oh, well, he had an ex-girlfriend, and then the ex-girlfriend and the new girlfriend fights. And everybody's over there paying attention to the new old girlfriends instead of finding X, Y, and Z. It's just, and people are drawn to that. They want to know.
Right. And the new girlfriend of whoever her ex is, she did talk about the fact that Dylan lived with them for a while, or stayed with them, or that the guy saw the kid all the time. I didn't listen to most of her stuff because I wasn't about the fact that she was literally just like, taking an opportunity to bash Candace. And I was like, I don't know what that good that's going to do. The questioning should have really gone to, what did you know about Dylan? What did you know about his friends? When was the last time people saw him in your area? What did he say about the fact that he was down there alone? Did he like it? Did he hate it?
And this is why we were almost stuck. We were stuck with our with the Kurtz of the world or the Ty Corbins and things, because we needed answers and we needed to know things. And unfortunately, Candace didn't live there either, and we didn't have anybody that was kind of lived there, boots on the ground already, that could answer those immediate questions. Just knowing about the washes and the mines and where you could possibly be,
Right.
she wouldn't know any of these things, not because she's a bad mother, because she's just not actively involved in her 19-year-old son who lives in a different state, who's starting his own farm / business. She wouldn't, so it's like,
well, you hear her. She talks about that he's busy. He's busy. Yeah. He's a farmer. He's doing this. He's doing that. So she thinks that my 19-year-old kid's 19 and he's busy all the time. I talk to him whenever I can. She admits like she didn't talk to him on a daily basis. That he talked to somebody in their circle every day. But I don't know. I don't know. I wish that.
I know exactly.
I wish that there had been the questions that do float around in our community. And of course, obviously that's selfish of me, because these are the questions that cause so much chaos in looking at a case like this. I wish that she does this interview with Nate Eaton, because she's like, okay, reputable person, reputable source, it'll be the right place to try to go on it and make a statement. And she's not wrong, but it doesn't change all the other stuff that's out there, because those aren't the questions that 99% of us following this case on social media are actually asking.
Exactly. And there's no details. If you're trying to investigate this case yourself, which is what most of us do, you can't go off of her information, unfortunately. Just can't. We've done that the last 4 to 5 weeks. And this is why we ended up in other places looking for that information. And that's why these people came out to begin with. If all that information was put out there, there would be no room for these people to surface, to come out with all these different things. There's space for that because there's open room for all this error, and it's being filled with just that.
Yeah. Diane says, I've worked on many cases as far as how people react. You are damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Totally I don't want any, but I never want to be in these positions of these parents, ever. And to think that this would, we know better. We know now, like, okay, if something was to happen, where do we go? Who do we talk to? Who are the people that are actually going to help us, or where's the chaos? These people on the outside of our world don't have a clue.
Not even a little bit.
Oh my gosh, people want to help. Perfect. I need help, and I want people to help.
And I think she saw a bunch of this, because maybe tuned into YouTube a little bit herself here and there, and she saw when missing kids go, look, you got Summer, you got a lot of these cases that trend, and they're known now for coming right to YouTube. So that's exactly what she did. And I think she feels like YouTube took it, twisted it, and threw her son back out to shit again. And she's highly pissed off. So when she talks, as much as she's interviewing about Dylan, I think when she goes into this YouTube stuff, or she starts thinking about it, she trips up even more of her words, because she's saying things that you could tell she knows she came to YouTube for help. You know what I mean? And she knows for the most part she is getting. There are good people who want to help. There's over 2,500 people that sit in her son's chats, and there's only 10% that are shit. The rest are genuinely there to find her son. So
the ones that aren't shit are typically the ones being quiet or trying to ask questions and being
exactly. You're tagging people, doing Google Earth searches. Yes. I just think this is, we say it all the time. It's a parent's worst nightmare.
Yep.
But when you add this layer to it, you are being judged from every which end. And on top of it, now you have just become the spokesperson for your child's case, which is a very hard thing to do. You are looking for your child. You don't know if your child is dead or alive. You are not in the right frame of mind to be your child's representative in that moment.
Yep.
You're just not,
She's trying.
She is trying. It's just not.
That's why we talk about these kids, that their kids, their parents of the kids that go missing, and we talk about them and how they don't care, and how they're not out there talking, and they're not looking, and they're not doing this, and they're not doing that. This woman is actually, she's talking, and she tried to talk to a lot of people at first, and I know she got burned, and I see that. But this is still, look at like Harmony. Nobody even reported that little girl missing. Oakley, same thing.
2 years. Two whole years.
This mom immediately was like, nope, something's wrong. Where's my kid? I need him back.
Yep.
So, let me see. She has to be exhausted. Yeah, it'll be 2 months on the 28th since anybody's talked to him. So they're not sure, obviously, if he went missing on the 28th or the 29th, but there's no activity after the 28th. So most can just say it was most likely that day. I could totally see that. Like I said, I just can't imagine what I'd say in an interview. Trust me, if I need help, I know where I'm coming.
Yes.
That's my point. It's like, so like, and I adore Nate. I think Nate's a very good reporter. But that question, that answer, and then whoever was the editor is good. That is, there needed to be some further questioning or an edit of that out or something, because you don't want to put out the information and just have it ask or make more questions. That's the worst thing you can do.
Well, if you could see Nate's face, Nate is ready to combust himself. He is ready to cry with her, and I think maybe that might have stumped up his questioning and maybe where he wanted some answers from. I've never seen him really look like that on an interview, and he didn't look uncomfortable. He just looked very upset, and understandable. When I see her lip quiver, she kind of gets me there. I see it.
Yeah, I'm surprised she's not actually crying, but
yeah,
no,
she gets me there.
No, I don't. I'll say it here. Whether she was a bad mom or not a bad mom, I don't. It doesn't. It's not what happened to Dylan.
Yeah.
And it's not going to change the fact that Dylan's gone and he needs to be found. Yeah, Nate is a really good interview. I adore him, but I just think that
you wanted that
for the
question.
purposes of a case like that, in a situation where you could tell that she is a little traumatized by what's happened to her son on social media and her family on social media.
So the perfect way to put it. She's traumatized from it. That's perfect, too.
Well, yeah, shit, her kid's missing, and then everybody just beats the shit out of her for it.
Yep.
And basically tells her how much it's her fault when you don't think she's already sitting there thinking to herself how much it's her fault.
Exactly. She's beaten up.
If I had gone there more often, if I had been there, if I had known all these people more, if I had done this, if I had done that, yeah, I'm sure she's going to have a lot of I wish I had.
It's so sad because it's almost like it's like a slight confirmation outside of Jim James and Chase possibly confessing or giving up what they're supposed to, whatever that may be right now. But it's almost like she tells us in her reaction. It's almost like we're getting that final, it's not an official statement, but it's almost like we're getting that final call for Dylan almost. That's what I kind of got out of it. I got that's Dylan. The probability of Dylan is not a good one anymore at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never really seen that done from a parent before without law enforcement doing it first. So maybe that's why she caught me off a little bit the way she did. I just feel like she almost put it out there about her son. And I don't know how I don't know.
This is why I said I wish that there was a way to.
I wish you could just talk to her.
I wish I could talk to her too, but I mean, obviously, like I said, I don't want to traumatize her any more than she already is. Yeah, I don't agree with any bashing of her. It's heartbreaking. I don't think it really matters if all the crap that she did wrong is true. I really don't. That sounds so silly. And yes, it put him where, he is maybe, but it doesn't change shit. It doesn't even matter.
If he was 9 years old and technically supposed to be next to his mommy every day and then she didn't know, that would be one thing. He is 19 years old, off living his life. She is not supposed to be holding his hand anymore. That's not the life that was set up anymore. So she wouldn't, and I think all that just kind of put her in a really, really bad predicament here, already in a bad one.
I agree.
There's no good way to move.
I agree. All right. Well, we've been doing this for over 3 hours. I think we've covered almost every case possible that anything has happened this weekend.
It's true.
It's kind of like, my mind might explode after this because I still have to go write a paper.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh Jesus.
Yeah, this class is like
kicking your butt.
Yeah, summer is not an easy one. No, don't leave me, Pink says.
Oh, Pink. I love when Kelly says it. She goes,
"Don't leave me. It's not fair. I got here late." Well, the positive is you can go back to the beginning and listen to all the other fun stuff we said.
You'll get Christine too.
You get Christine then too, yeah, because she made it tonight. But as always, I thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you to all the new members. And if you haven't yet, I appreciate the I appreciate the support. Make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell if you want notifications. I know some people are like, I don't need any more notifications, but if you want ones for this channel, please do it. But you have so many options on where you could go spend your Friday nights, and you guys choose to spend them here with us, and that's amazing to me. It's incredible that we have so many kind people that like to come together and just talk through things and figure it out and try to make sense of the crazy world that we live in, and we get to do it together. So I adore all of you, and I appreciate all of you for choosing to hang out with us on your Friday night.
We love you lots. You can't
come
watch,
see us on Facebook if you want to. Otherwise, we do have some plans. We're probably going to do, I don't know what day next week, but we're going to do a live on Michael Monkey Vaughn. His 1 year anniversary of him being missing is actually coming up on the 27th. So we may be doing it on the 27th. We'll let you guys know. And then we have our Friday night live, and then maybe we'll be able to. Oh, and then Christine will be on Jen Lou on Sunday. They're covering the James Hutchinson, the child case with Brittany Gosney as his mom. She's a flipping nightmare. So she'll be on Jen Lou's channel. Make sure you guys, Christine, drop Jen Lou's link real quick. And then we also have the Facebook group. It's Criminality on Facebook. Maybe somebody can drop that link too. I don't have any links for.
Hang out with us.
Let me see. I think that was it. Yes, thank you to all the amazing mods. I have literally the bestest people in the whole world, and I know that Fridays are kind of hard for us, especially because I'm West Coast and so many people in here are East Coast. They're like, you're killing me. So, but we've got some other plans in to do with the members, and we want to do some of the behind the scenes and just be able to chill and bullshit and hang out, and
we're gonna have some fun.
Yep. So once again, thank you. This has been 3 hours and 18 minutes. You guys are like rock stars.
Really?
I want to make sure I get the links dropped before I end the live, because I don't want it to not be able to go in there. Yep. So
I'm gonna
go back and catch up since I was late. Aw, we went through so many cases.
Yes, we did.
We did. We really did.
See.
But it's hard because I don't with the school schedule and the 3 kids. I don't have a lot of time to do these daily like a lot of YouTubers do. And then Michelle works full time, and then Christine's got all of her business people that she's making all kinds of beautiful stuff for. It's just such a hard no way am I your first one. I would say something inappropriate, but I won't.
We'll save that for membership.
I'll save that for the members only lives, but
you can pink her own.
So, but yeah, so it's this is all the stuff I'm looking at. I say this every week, and this is all the stuff I'm looking at all week, or that Michelle's looking at, or Christine's into, and it's we want to pack it all in and talk to you guys about it. But hopefully, as things get, easier in life, we'll be able to do some more things and kind of separate it out where we can actually have a full summer live, and we'll have, these different things, because man, there's so much happening all the time.
We're going to try and go back on some old cases, introduce even newer ones, try and put some series in there. If there's anything you guys are interested in or would like us to cover, reach out.
Open Mind says she's getting a message that she's at her limit. They're like, you have done too much YouTube. We are
get off YouTube.
We are not allowing you to do any more YouTube. You are cut off.
Open Minds, you're done, babe. Got to start over.
Yeah, I'm a night person. I actually am. I'm up very late at night, but
it's so fun and so formative. Getting up.
Thank you, Hybrid. Thank you. Yeah, I really do. I love this. I love you guys. Last call was an hour ago. All right. So did we got the links in there? Okay, I think we're good.
That in there.
So we will see you guys next week, and we'll talk about little Michael Monkey Vaughn.
Yes,
all right, you guys have a good night, and thank you.